Oppo Reno 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Hello everybody and welcome to another day here at the PUBG Mobile Club Oaken full split for the Africa region. My name is James Banks and I'm one of your commentators taking you throughout today. We've also got Maxman alongside me and DK waiting in the wings as we swap around throughout the day, get to enjoy the games, and this time we're getting to see what B and D can do up against each other. Max, 4 more matches as always to come everyone's way, and plenty of action where we get to see if some teams now will have an idea of how many points they need for the day, you know, how much their chances will still have a hope within it, because we're getting to the point where there's only 2 more days after this, 4 more games per group after. That's where we start to see some teams start to say, we might be struggling unless we can have some ridiculous game days, which we did actually see come out from one team yesterday, Max.
Yeah, that was G3 Temper taking himself 3 wins out of 4 games in one day. It is absolutely nuts. You don't see that happen every single day. If there are teams still currently struggling in the groups you just mentioned, that's going to be Group B and Group D for today. They could make it back in the top 16. Top 16 is definitely achievable in one singular strong day and performance, but it's still, you still need to have some very clear improvements. And I think that this Group B and Group D has the most amount of teams that have very clear improvement path that we're going to talk about as we go throughout this segment, because there's a lot of things to say for these 2 groups.
There is, right, because sometimes it comes out a little bit more heavy hitting in one group than another, but we're going to show you guys the format and how we're playing it through across these days. So at the moment we are in the group stage. It's 32 teams per region, 6 days of competitions and 4 matches per day. Remember, the top teams will go off to the finals, which then brings you another 4 days of competition, but only one team will advance to the PMPL EMEA Championship, which is what they're all fighting for. But there is also a lot of prize on the line, Max, as well. But, you know, everyone wants to be in that spot where they can try and get to the championship, try and compete against the best within the EMEA region and show their skills on a bigger stage, for sure.
Exactly, and that's something we talked about, especially yesterday for the African scene, which is Africa seems to be a little bit more secluded when it comes to the competitive scene. Them getting more experience in, for example, PMPL EMEA championships, such and such, is going to be great to see how their meta can evolve in the long run. So I can't wait to see what they can do and which team is going to make it there if they can actually try and compete with the best teams in EU.
That's what it's all about. Now, the prize pool is very hefty. $30,000, a slight increase from when we last did it. $4,000 up there for the first place team, but all the way down, even if you're in the 17th to 32, you still get $500 because you had to qualify in the first place, right? And the PMCO being open, it's even hard just to get to the top 32, mate, because the region's so competitive.
Exactly. There are so many players. Of course, most of the player base of PUBG Mobile in Africa is very casual, but able to make it out of the 32 best teams in your own region right now in this split is just so insane. And $500 coming your way minimum is still pretty insane. Maybe you could get yourself a good old Renault 5 Series phone coming your way. I think that'll be a pretty good investment. You'll probably have to share it with the boys. You won't have one each, but still something to think about when you're going into it. But yeah, it is just amazing to see. And this is so far the biggest prize pool in African PUBG Mobile esports. And I can't wait to see where it's going to be potentially next year, maybe doubled, maybe tripled. I don't know, but it's definitely going way further and beyond you can actually initially expect. There you go.
And for the teams to grab all their points, right, we know the system that is in place that we love here for the PMCO. 15 points for first place, and then it trickles on down. Remember, if you hit between 13 to 16 place, and if you didn't get any kills either, you're in a bit of a rough spot, so you want to try and get something done. We've seen some more early fights been happening, because 1 kill does net you 1 point in here, Max.
Yeah, of course, that's going to be the rule that can just make such a huge difference. I've seen so many tournaments where 1 point stop one team from qualifying. Actually, you know that the Augur part of Alliance, right? At one point, just a few seasons ago, they didn't qualify to the next event because they didn't get 1 point that they desperately needed, and it can change the course of a team's future if you just do not confirm those kills. If you get a knock, you're like, I'll get the confirm later on, don't really pick it up, then that can definitely hinder your chances here to make in the top 16 and make it out of the finals. So every time you can see a kill and you can grab it, take it, don't wait. Otherwise, you might just regret it later on as you look at the standings, and you'll just look back on it like that kill. That was the difference maker.
You know, it would be real tough, right? And obviously you can't think of this at the time because anything can happen. But if a kill gets stolen away, say you get to the last day and you're 1 point away where you would have been the team in 16th place, you'll be thinking back to that kill and be like, why did I not do it?
It's always how it goes, man.
Yeah, it gets right to the wire, but also it gets to a point where sometimes you don't want them to confirm too early, because we saw yesterday, I think it was on the Erangel game, he went in for the confirm, and it was pretty wild in the sense that, like, he went in, got it, and then got shot in the back, and ended up his whole squad getting wiped because he was a bit too open in it. But I'm going to show everyone at home what the schedule is for today. As always, it is 4 games coming your way. This time it's groups B and D that are rocking it to see what they can get done. They had a good chance to see what the other teams were doing, but we get Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, and Erangel to close out the day. And well, you know what I'm waiting for, Max? Miramar all day long.
I've never casted a Miramar game yet. I don't know why you're just keeping it for yourself and DK, and I feel I feel just out of the party for Miramania.
Just experts, mate. He's got his own path of it. You know, he knows what he's doing. I love the map, so we just thought, no, you're not allowed it. So it's just.
Wait, you mean I don't know what I'm talking about, Miramar? Which you would be. You know what? I do understand if that's the PUBG Mobile Esports team decision to not put me on that. I do curse teams on Miramar quite a lot. That's what I've been renowned for. So fair enough. Actually, it's a pretty smart decision. Actually, the person who put that schedule together is pretty smart. I'm not going to say who it is, but
yeah, no, I think they're amazing. You know, they're very, very smart, handsome. You know, incredible at what they do. But that's why we love these scheduling people out there. Thanks for the sarcasm, everything. There we go. But we should remind everyone at home, Max, right, that if they want to be rocking it in their own PUBG mobile games, well, they can be born to win, because this is the PMCO Africa Full Split brought to you by Oppo, and you guys can get your gamer mode on with the much loved Renault 5 series. They're obviously supporting the PMCO throughout. It's a big love and help for them to be here and be able to support events like this, because we want to see the growth, want to see the community get bigger, want to see bigger events coming forward, and it obviously gives massive opportunity to all the different teams and players around the world. But on that note, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, it's time to go into our first match. We'll see you in a few.
Oppo Rena 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Welcome back, guys, as we get ourselves to the opening part of the games. Match 1 is starting on Erangel. We touched on where some of these teams were sat at the moment. They're fighting for a lot of good prize money in here, but also that all-important EMEA championship spot. But Max, now we get to see what B and D can do. But we're going to take a look and just remind everyone at home of all the teams that made it in to the full split. And interestingly enough, right, there's a few names that did return, but we mentioned it already. Only 11 of the previous season did manage to make it back in. Some names have obviously changed and swapped onto different teams. We've certainly seen that. But in general, we've just seen a more competitive scene come through. Obviously, a very tough qualifying stage for sure. I'm going to keep coming back. And this, do you know what I'm very happy with for Group B? We get Team Somalia back because the last 2 games they had was nuts, man. Like, they went from they had 2 points or 1 point, and they went for a second place in the first place. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I really liked what I was seeing from them. The one where they nearly won the 2v3 at the end, where they were completely pinned down by G3. They did still lose it on Miramar, but the way they did it, it went down to a 1v1. It could have been kind of took out there. So I guess just because I enjoyed so much of what I saw from them, I'm really keen to see what they can do this time around.
The thing is with that type of play stuff on Team Somalia is that it's not consistent. And when you're only playing yourself 12 games, now, if today they have a bad performance and also on their third day in the group stage, they have a bad performance, they're out. They're currently on 15th position. They're going through the line, and it could get very risky for them, but they got themselves a win. That's great to see. They're currently the one of the lowest standing teams with a win, the other one of that actually being Erangel. So their place, it goes to show that they can confirm themselves some games and find greatness, but we need just a little bit more to make sure they can be in that top 16. Currently, what I'm seeing from there, it would not be potentially enough for the EMEA championship, but making it still in the top 16 is still a great achievement in its own. So they can still pat themselves on the back on that end. But now we are looking at potential champions. And for me, from what I saw from Gun, Gamers Unite Nation are looking just so strong. And they are currently in a position where they could be first at the end of the day.
Well, it's time for us to get ourselves closer to the game now. But I also want to remind everyone at home that Nimo TV is the official media partner of the PUBG Mobile Pro League in 2021 Max. And that's what we want to see, right? More partners, more people coming into it. But also, you guys at home got to remember, as always, we are born to win. It is time to welcome you all to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo to get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Renault 5 series as well. Because without these amazing companies supporting us, we would not be having these epic PMCOs go down. We're getting to see who the best, first of all, in the regions are. Then we go out and expand out further. We move all the way into who could be the best in the world. And as the world is slowly returning to normal, we've got more chance of that all going down. And hopefully, Max, it'll be studio time for us soon. And it won't be just speaking to each other online like we do now. I can't wait.
Yeah, you won't speak to me in real life. I know that.
Wow.
Max Man guy, who won't talk to him? Who's that dude again?
So I'm just not, I won't commentate with you at all then. You have to sit there on the sidelines.
You're just able to deal with me because it's online, but IRL, I can't with this guy. I can't with this guy. Yeah, rightly so, to be honest.
Carry me. I'm going to have you carry me through games, man.
Man, but hey, we're saying born to win every time, right? I swear, I swear I recall my first game of PUBG Mobile, I died to a bot, which is, I'm trying to erase that from my memory, but I'm pretty sure I died to a bot my very first game. So
I'm surprised you just admitted that on stream.
Yeah, man, I gotta lean into it. It's fine. People would have found it out eventually, right?
yeah. Start checking your match history. Look at this noob. How does he compensate this game? He dies to bots.
Oh, no. PUBG Mobile team's gonna be like, wait, did you just die to a bot? Nah, I'm gonna change him. I'd pick someone else.
Can't hire him anymore. This is terrible.
Oh man, other than that, we're looking at the playing path. It was very nice, right through the middle of the map. Teams are going to be relatively happy about that one, and this is a great phase 1 circle 2, James. I have literally no issue with this one, so we can expect a somewhat chill early stage. But don't forget that this is the very first time that the teams from Group B and Group D collide, so we might have a few little hot drops in this first game of Erangel. And as you can see right now towards Rosok, KHK going to get approached a bit by Dragons, I believe it is. It is indeed. But not going to be going the entire distance as of right now. So this first game on Erangel might be a little bit more all over the place, but game 4 later on this map should be a little bit more set in stone.
Yeah, good old Erangel can throw a few cautions out for these teams and make things problematic for them. We've seen some pretty wild circles go down, but for now, these guys can be pretty happy with it all. KHK, obviously a team we should touch on as well because they are in contention to be rising up to the top. They also have a good idea of how many points they want to try and grab throughout the day, you know, to ensure they can be up in those top spots overall. And for them, right, they've come through. They've looked very strong overall. They've had a lot of consistency with it. And I feel like for them, there's nothing really you have to change too much, you know. Maybe they've made little adjustments on what they saw going into the previous day they played. But for now, it's like you stay happy with what you're doing. You've not really had too many bad games.
I remember last season, KHK was one of these big names that people were just looking forward to doing well. Even though this is a completely different roster, when we're talking KHK from the spring split now into the full split, the roster is completely different. It's not the same team, but KHK still has that connotation of you being one of the best teams in the region if you get picked up by KHK. So I think that this is a team that could be very scary. I mean, they definitely are right now. You're looking at KHK, they're currently standing in 8th position. They got themselves 67 points, and they only play themselves 4 games right now, playing an extra 4 today. And they are just like Gun, just like Blackjack Esport. They could be one of those few teams at the top that at the end of today could be standing in top 3, could even potentially overtake G3 Temper. But for that to happen, you're going to need, what, 2 wins minimum? You're going to have to pull a G3 Temper, basically. So odds of that happening are relatively slim, but G3 did it, so they could do it too.
Yeah, certainly anything's possible, but it takes a hell of a lot for these guys to try and get it done in that fashion. Liquid Diamonds, when they first started off, day one, we were at least praising them a bit. Then they slipped down a little bit more, and we start to think, okay, guys, what can you do? So maybe today is where they can have a bit of a resurgence in it all. The ATL Magicians as well. We saw some good things coming out from these guys. Another team that ended up returning in here, but of course we've got to talk about roster changes and all that side of things. I'd like to see Gun do pretty good here today as well, because like they'd be always trying to make the most of every game. I just come back to that Sanhok game where they just posted up, they went for the rotation. They realized that, okay, we're just going to have to play the heal strat out in the end. Like, we couldn't go in for a fight. But they racked up a ton of extra placement points purely off the back of that, because that's what it's all about, right? Trying to get as many points that, even if it's not maybe the best way of doing it, not the way where you're fighting out from start to finish, it's trying to make the most for you to be in a good position, because end of the day, that's what matters most.
It is, but the thing is also, I would say for Gun is they need way more kills. When you look at their point disparity, you're looking at their positioning points, placement points, they're at 45, and there are only 24 kill points. Now, and what you want, I don't know if everyone's really aware of this, but when you come into PUBG Mobile esports and you're aware with the rule set, a good team would have a somewhat close, maybe a 40-60% spread of overall kill points and also positioning points. So you want to have about a 50-50 spread, at least try and hit that. They are nowhere close to that right now. If they had just a bit more kills currently, you would see Gamers United Nation currently standing around top 3, maybe a little bit below top 3, but they would be close. So I am hoping that yesterday Gun used that time of rest to actually look on what they want to improve on, and hopefully their path of improvement is to try and frag out a little bit more. Maybe not go for the kills and go for the breaches every 2 seconds, because not gonna lie, James, if you do that all the time, at one point you're gonna die and you're not gonna get to the late game. So that is a risk you should not take. But when you have a strong position, make use of it. Capitalize on kills that are coming your way, and you can very easily gatekeep teams out in the blue or from a rotation. I want to see Gun pop off in the kill feed. If they do that, I think top 3 is a very, very achievable result at the end of this day 4. Day 4. There you go.
And do you know that there's only one team I can make an exception for in what you were saying in terms of kill points to placement points. It's Na'Vi. Remember
You're
that?
right, actually. Yeah.
They didn't really care. No, they did care about placement points, but at times they were even chasing down teams just to hunt them and say, like, cool, I'm gonna ruin your game because
it's Na'Vi,
these guys
man.
are just killing start and finish. Yeah, they are like the exception to the rule. It's just like, okay, you guys can do this. Yes, exactly.
The guy just doesn't care. He's like, bro, I can kill you. I'm gonna chase you down. Of course you have exceptions to the rule, right? But in general, you see some teams that just like to go for the 50-50. But indeed, Na'Vi don't follow that because it's Na'Vi. They are born to win, right? That is literally what it is in
that is their tagline.
Oh, okay. I like that. Why do we have more teams that like take names from ancient Greece or
the Latin stuff?
Yeah, Latin stuff too. I don't know of many except for Na'Vi. I don't know of any actually.
My Latin's not so good, mate, so I'm not even going to try and join in this part of the conversation.
I took Latin, actually, in lesson for, I think, 3 years, but our teacher was really cool, and he allowed us to cheat in the exam. I don't know, don't ask me why. We would, like, do the exam.
All right,
like,
what's his name? Expose him.
No, I'm not going to. I ain't going to say his name. He was a really cool guy, and we would have the exam, and we would put our hand up, and we'll say, I don't know what the answer to this is. Can you help me? And he'll just give you the answer, and, like, oh, thanks,
bro.
And then you just get like a
teachers like that.
It was just perfect. And I could not speak. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to speak it because it's a dead language, anyways. But I would just get 18, 19, 20 out of 20, and I would not know anything about Latin. So there you go. Props, teacher. Appreciate you.
I'm just going to add here that, like, do not cheat in life or add anything, you know, guys. Do it as fairly as possible. Don't follow Max's rules.
Except if the teacher says you can. Then it's okay.
We're touching on dangerous ground here, Max. Dangerous ground. There's a bit of dangerous ground in front of CE Sports, though, as I find my way out of this cheating moments of Max's life. They're going to be looking around before they decide to make their move next. Obviously, they are well within the circle, so it's not an issue for these guys. A lot of teams are very clustered up towards the middle of the circle for now, but it's phase one, still plenty of space, plenty of compounds and buildings for everyone to chill in. So we're not going to see too much go down just yet. EXS, they are still down there on Novo, just on the side of a military base. They always come in with a later rotation. They're not trying to go too fast. And they're well aware at this point, I think. They're like, in most of the lobbies, I think this is the second time now I've seen them where they don't really have competition, not just on the military base, but it's not even on anyone at Milta. So their rotations have been very easy. They don't have to worry too much about a team camping them on bridge at any point so far. So for them, they're living a good life overall. Where will this next circle go? I've got my hand off the button, to be clear, Max. I'm not going to press it.
That's fine. Thank you.
There we go.
That's a good. So this is very friendly. This is very laid back. It's a very nice way to lead the teams into these games today. So I'm really enjoying it.
Someone's
when I'm looking
being
at
nice.
this circle, someone's being. I wonder who's being nice and not pushing a button. Thank you. That happens very rarely. But here, which position you want to go for? I haven't really. Damn.
Yeah, felt good.
Went to the gym and everything. You're looking good.
Yeah, felt good. Went to the gym and just decided, you know what? I won't press the button. Unless I get bored. If I get bored, maybe I'll press the button.
Okay, so I gotta keep some. If I talk about anime, hopefully I'll keep you entertained. Or maybe not. Actually, you might press the button many times. But this circle position, looking at Pachinki Hill, I mentioned it many times, and I have not seen too many teams play well around that position. You can have two teams on Pachinki Hill, one up north, one down south. As of right now, there's only one team in that position, enough room for seconds. So I'm hoping to see teams actually understand the value of such a position and go for it. But other than that, as I said, this is very friendly. I'm not expecting too many things to really go out of line. I think we're just going to be slowly getting closer to phase 4, and that's where things are going to start to get a little bit dicey. Unless James decides to push the button, there things are going to get even more intriguing. But as of right now, I'm pretty chill with teams like Gun are going to go for a slow rotation away from Yasnaya Poliana. So I'm enjoying this one so far. There's no big fights, no team eliminated in the early game, which goes to show that still, compared to last season, James, there's been very clear improvements where you remember last season we were talking about all these African teams and how they had the African utility, right? They just set them apart. Their utility was so good. But now the thing is, their utility is still on top tier, but because they improved on so many different aspects of the game, it doesn't seem like that's the one thing that sets them apart. Everything else does, as Unique are going to be defending this hilltop. But there you go. There's another position up north, and CE Sport are right away going to take that position.
Yeah, just some warning shots, push them away from the position. Try to hopefully get someone knocked out, but it's not going to happen just yet. But it does mean that Unique's got their eyes peeled and looking around. Obviously, great time. We always catch a car being flipped over. This is such a skill of our observers. Like, they always seem to find it, man.
I'm sure they got a button of their own. It's just like, if card is flipped, camera moves there instantly. It's really good programming, to be honest. That's how it should be done.
Very smart. Very smart. Sorry, he's got his trigger finger a little bit too happy there, shooting onto the wall. He's like just practicing, just getting warmed up into it. It does feel like a very relaxed start to an Erangel. It's like the PUBG gods have decided that we would come in here and say, you know what, guys?
James. Yeah.
Day one. I am definitely not a god. That is for sure. Maybe call me like, okay, let's go with the PUBG Mobile Hercules. Because like my dad would have been a god, but I'd still be pretty normal. He wasn't a god straight away, right? I'm going off the Disney movie. I don't really know the whole history of this.
I think the Disney movie maybe is not very accurate. You know, I'm just saying.
That's the closest my knowledge got, mate.
Oh, Hercules, yes, he had a song, right? Yes, it was very good. Yes, I very like it. To be honest, it was a banger movie.
He flew on that little Pegasus thing that came down with him, you know. It was a baby with him as well. They grew up together. They were like best friends. Little white horsey with wings.
I think that's Pegasus. I think you're right.
Yeah, there we go. Sweet.
I like the wait. What was his name? The villain. I forgot the villain's name.
Hades.
Hades.
Literally,
I love
the devil.
Hades was my favorite character in that. It was so good. There you go. I just like mean people. That's why I cast was you, James. But...
That's all right. This part you love punishment, mate.
Yeah, I do.
You just keep coming back for more.
In eternity of punishment, I'll go down there, man. We'll see.
I even tried to bring DK in and told him not to hire you, and yet we're still here, and you have to be here. So like, I'm just trying to punish you more until you're gone. So it's just me and DK, and we can have the Boomer squad.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know?
I didn't decide to be a Zoomer. Jesus,
Just are. You're just young. That's right. It's perfectly balanced, like everything within this game for us right now, because. Still, we're just sat here. Everyone's just. This is ridiculous. I don't think we've had a game that's this peaceful. We're 14 minutes in. There we go. Some more shots are being had, but like, come on, take someone out of the car. Give us something to work with.
I mean, there was something interesting earlier. Chapo rolled over himself. I don't know how that happened, but he did it. So.
Oh no.
We'll see.
That was close. They slowed down a little bit as they popped off the ground for a while. And this will be applied either way. It's not too much of a problem. The teams now, at least where the circles have got smaller at phase 3, are going to start to be limited on their positions they can take, and everyone's just going to be looking for that ground. Blackjack Esports onto EXS. Reverb taking a fight, but he's heavily outnumbered, completely outgunned, and it's Chapo that picks him off from the side. So the Magicians are there as well. These nades that you spoke about, the utility gods that come from the Africa region, looking to do some big damage. Reverb taking some more out towards him, wants to try and stay alive, but is his teammates even going to bother to go back towards him and try and help him here? Because he's in a rough spot, man. You got one team in front of you. You got chopped up a little bit further by both Exusia and the ATL Magicians. You're not being confirmed yet. You're just waiting it out.
Not worth it. Just let Reverb unfortunately go down. I remember though last season we were screaming Reverb's name every time.
A lot.
He was nuts. It was so fun to see this guy play. He does go down this game relatively early, but that's fine. We'll overlook it. We'll excuse him because of his past in the spring split of this PMCO for the African region. Yeah. But moving in, Gunn going to find himself as a really strong compound towards Headshot Valley, so really strong position to play from. I'm not really too happy with the circle, I'm not going to lie. Even though it looks very calm and very safe for the time being for all of these teams. The moment the circle shifts, if it goes east or west, that's where things start to get very dicey, because you look at the terrain, over to the west is flat terrain, is filled, a few compounds to play from. Very straightforward as to how you play that type of position. And then you look over to the east, also quite a few compounds, but it's very hilly. You got a lot of hilltops, mountains, and also a lot of dips, which means that you're going to have to adapt to any type of terrain in which the circle is going to shift in phase 4. We're going to see where it's going to go in just a few seconds time, and off the back of the shifts, teams might have to take very drastic kind of decision-making situations to play from. So here we go. It's going to centralize, so it's not that big of a shift for a lot of these teams, but there's not a lot of space to play from. So now is the moment, James, where we can expect quite a few teams to start taking some big L's, but the position that's the best in this game right now is definitely for sure where C Esport currently stand is Pachinki Hill. They got so much information. The only way to push away C Esport is to go for full-on push and breach it, but that is not an easy thing to do, especially against C Esport that are pretty damn strong when it comes to defending positions.
That's also the fact that multiple teams will probably need to attack them at the same time to really be able to shift them off the hill. I am happy though that we saw chopsticks are cut out of it, you know, like you're mentioning positions that can be very strong. The chopstick area is certainly one where teams can use the ground to their advantage in it. But now we should start to see some more understanding from these teams of how they want to play it out and what they want to do here. Because, like we mentioned, circles got smaller, still 62 players alive. That's wild. 16 teams in it as well. We're getting just over the 15-minute mark now. Pushing on forward, getting closer towards the 20 minutes. And normally, right, we say phase 3, you start to lose a team or two, but nope. We're sat here now with everyone still stacked up. And, oh, Zane, what a beautiful McLaren you have there.
He zoomed on. We moved to that POV and I just knew you were going to bring it up. Thank you.
It's your favorite, isn't it, Max? That you don't have.
It is my favorite. Yes, really good looking skin colors. Yes. But I don't know what he's doing, though. I mean, it's such a good car. He's just staying inside of it. I appreciate that.
He's just speeding around, man, enjoying life. Doesn't realize he's being shot at by her team. Goes back for some cover and decides, oh, wait a second, got carried away with my stroll.
That's one of the new specs of the McLaren, is bulletproof too. That's why you got to get it, man.
There we go.
There you go. Liquid Diamonds, though, also a pretty strong compound. It is on the edge, but I would not move away from that position. Otherwise, you know teams are going to take it. You're going to be pinned between that compound and CE Sports. So I do like their decision to commit to it. If the terrain was different in the center, they would move away. Though, ATL Magicians just rolling up. And Raise the Clan are just going to be trying to push in, and they're going to obliterate all the rest of ATL Magicians. I'm surprised. Aqua 5, though, shooting in the middle of this terrain is not the best thing to do, as Chapo's just going to be zooming his way out of that one. But what a weird pull-up from ATL Magician that had literally no information. That was a very risky play that cost everything for them.
Yeah, not ideal for the Magicians at all. Akka was ready and waiting for him. Certainly applied the pressure to him. Smokes are still going to be deployed everywhere, though, because although Rays may have been able to comfortably fight, they don't really have much cover, you know? They're right out in the open, and that's the problem with where we are in the circle right now for a lot of these teams, is you don't have too much of a ground to sit with and stay chilled on. You're going to have to be sat there very much out in the open, using the smokes to your advantage. Start to run out of meds if you're not too careful as well. You're looking for teams to run in front of you and maybe see if you can pick one off, but it's all a waiting game for now.
Chapo's popping off, though, for ATL Magicians. Despite losing literally every single one of his teammates, he is still trying to frag out and capitalize, make the most out of his life, so that's a good thing to see. Still got to be careful because you might just go down later on. Nice headshot on the DP28 onto Pounds off gun. Kill feed is slowly but surely lighting up. We've still got 16 teams, though, so it really means we have yet to hit that big tipping point. That's where things are going to start get very sticky for a lot of these teams. Eric Crew got himself a strong compound, sharing it with Immortals. But this shift, if it's a hard shift, that is where it could get so hard for so many teams. And that's a hard shift, actually. You're going straight down south. That is on a slope, except for C Esport, that will remain pretty much untouched unless a team wants to push it. This circle, to actually create and hold onto a position, is so hard, James.
C Esports, what would you do if you're them now? Do you decide to just sit there until the next circle comes in because you have such a good position? Yeah, that's the best option.
Yeah, I would defend north, because that is the easiest way to push. Teams are not going to be wrapping around east or west and push you from a slope side. They're going to try and push you right up north. So if I were them, I would potentially keep 3 players, keeping information on the northern side, pushing teams away if that happens, taking shots, zone teams away, 1 player down south, just to make sure that no team tries to make that push, even though I don't think anyone will. That is like just one weird call to do if you execute it and try and go for it. So yeah, I would say City Sport, just stick to your guns, stay on that position, and that will be the best thing to do. Okay, hello.
Easy. Absolute annihilation. Gun were there ready and waiting. The Drogans push on through, and the Drogans go straight down. And he's not done yet either. 4 swift kills coming out. Blackjack Esports has also fallen, and Gun, well, they may find themselves in the blue now, but they've got vehicles. They're taking their painkillers and meds. They're going to try and stick it out for as long as possible and work their way back in. But at least they now have a bit of room, at least, to push on forward with.
Oh, teams are pushing. Mortals are going to be going for that push. Team Unique. They could also stick to their position right now if they want to, but Exusia, they want a piece of this cake. They want a piece of this mountaintop. They're going to try and deny it away, but they're going to stay in the valley side. And CE Sport doing exactly as I said. They're trying to hold the more northern side as they get pushed upon. It's not an easy one. Gamers Unite Nation get picked up, actually, despite those 4 kills. The 2 top teams of this lobby, that were Gamers Unite Nation and also Blackjack Esport, both went down. This could be a huge opportunity for KHK in this lobby.
Not a great way for them to start off here on Erangel. A very interesting game, though, is certainly what we've had. The C Sports are looking to hold on to their position. We said how strong it was. They're trying to deal the damage, but they're heavily under pressure. And that's really nice from MFP. Will be able to revive his teammate as well. Puts one on the floor. C Sports know the pressure's coming their way. Somalia are the next team to fall, and this is where the chaos really starts to ensue. There's so much going on. The Mortals, they're just railing. Not massive amounts of cover, but they've got some high ground with it, and they're just trying to take down everyone close to them, destroying out the buggies, blowing everything up around them. They got some nades down there as well. They can easily finish off the players they found knocked down. And Max, this is just absolute carnage now.
Immortals and CE Esports seem like a symbiotic relationship. They're just helping out each other, basically, right now. Immortals just clearing out most of the teams up north, while CE Esports doing a weird 2-2 split, which I do not like. Right now, they're spread so thinly, they're going to be pushed by 2 teams. Razy was the first team to push, get himself 2 knocks, and now this is a 2v4 for CE Esports versus Immortals, and Immortals, that should be a relatively easy push to execute. CE Esports had a great opportunity, but that spread just cost them everything, really.
Mortals, though, still looking incredibly strong. Can work their way in quite nicely into the circle whenever they do decide. Not too far for them to go. It's about dealing with the teams that are up in front of them first. They're going to be the ones coming in from the north. There's no one else behind them. They know that by now. And they, right now, just seem to be more than capable of just demolishing everyone that comes up in front of them. They'll be happy and willing to fight. More C Sports players start to drop off. Only 2 left alive now, despite having such a good position for a very long time. They've been on top of this.
I'm generally surprised that C Sport are unable to clear this one out. Because now, if they would have stuck as a four-man crew, these two fights, they could have took them normally very easily, then put all of their focus down south, kill the teams that are playing on the slope, and win off the back of that. That was a winning opportunity, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to go the entire way. Team Unique, though, coming in hot from the more eastern edge. I like that, but you've got to be careful. There are still teams that decide to move on in, so you're going to get pinched just a tad, as Wooded Zin is going to get pushed upon, and that's going to be the full-on engagement from Immortals. Trying to get the information. Rig does get the very first knock, does get thrown down. It does get a lot of damage done, but unfortunately, it does not go as planned. Wizard Zin gets thrown down. That's a good knock, actually. As now it's going to be down to one-on-one. Is it actually going to be working out for C Esport? He sprays it through the smoke, and Wizard Zin actually confirms it for C Esport. I was so doubtful, James, and yet they picked the 2v4. I take it back. You're excused of all your sins. That was perfect.
Dude. What did we just witness? We're going straight into the next fight anyway, but that one...
It's a magic trick.
I am lost. We are seeing some individual clutch plays coming out, saving the day for your teams. And C Sport, 5 points up in it, still just 2 players left alive. It's Fainted and Liquid Diamonds that are looking like they're the strongest in the lobby in terms of numbers here. Fainted not actually had any kills coming in there, and it's Liquid Diamonds that are now going to take the fight towards them as a knock comes through. KHK still up in it as well, but only 2 players. They've had 7 kills. They have been fighting strong. Now the utility goes out and looking to see what players they might be able to put down here. Can Liquid Diamonds bounce back here, Max? That's going to be huge for them. We already spoke about them in the pregame.
They definitely could. The thing is, right, is that even though we said this is a slope finish, this is actually not that bad because you've got these discs, like these plateaus in the middle of this slope. And if you stay there and teams around you don't have too much utility, especially grenades and mollies, you could play it pretty well. And they hold on to that position for really long. And now they are deciding to rush for the heals, pushing their way up top. But Perk is going to be right in the wings and he's going to be having to get up. He's going to be spotted away instantly. Going for the mow down, does get one knock, but swiftly and quickly gets taken down. Raze Clan gets eliminated in 7th, and now only 6 teams remain. But C are not looking into the circle. They need to start shooting now because they are not going to make it as just an edge team.
Yeah, it's too difficult for them to try and play from this. Liquid Diamonds still stood there, full force, brought their teammate back up. 9 kills now already. Darkness grabbing 4 of them. He's prone, he's looking around, wants to keep a good look around at what's going on here. As Keish, like, he's using what you said there in terms of dipping down into the little spots where you can hide as you climb up the mountain. You also need to be careful from behind him. Ghost, you're going to be found, you're going to be spotted. You weren't safe for too long in that one, and that's another kill going the way of Darkness, now leading the 5 throughout this. Oh, they're not finished yet. Liquid Diamond are just picking up all the solo players, eliminating these teams out here, picking up more kills. Could they be on? Oh, huge. Again, how is he doing this?
Wizard.
They're completely outnumbered. And he's just wrecking. Molly's gone up. Doesn't quite reach him either.
Oh my god. Okay. Seem like I say that how they're doing it is very risky, but it's actually paying off. So I guess I'll just won't say any ill will of the esport anymore because they're just doing great in terms of gunfire at least and able to make up for a few little macro mistakes. But that's just amazing. The kill count of these two teams is looking so healthy right now. And Liquid Diamonds do not want to take that fight anymore. Now down to a 2-man crew. They're going to try and go for the res onto Darkness in that smoke. But now it's just survival of the fittest. See who can get 4th, who can get 3rd, who can get 2nd. Nobody wants to take this fight first, but unfortunately the circle is going to close up soon into phase 8, and you're going to have to take that fight if it comes your way.
But Ash's position here is going to be huge.
Oh, Fainted. They're here.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's what I said. They've been down the bottom the whole time. And that's what I said that actually other teams need to be watching out for. But they don't seem to be willing to jump up. They seem to be looking to play the long game.
They're very passive.
KHK are out more towards the east. And C, they're just still, wherever they get a chance, they're sitting at the top, saying, come on, we'll spot you out here. And one by one, they are making it work for themselves. They both jump up at the same time, really coming through with another knock onto Liquid Diamonds. But the problem here with Liquid Diamonds is they're sending one player at a time, either having them knocked and or having them killed, and then they're not fighting as a team. They need to now come together. That's what we want to see. First one going to be done. Nice bit of damage. Straight in with a finish off. More kills here. But Fainted, they hear this, they see this, and they want to go on the cleanup duty. Brilliant stuff going through from them. They knew it was the time to strike. And between C and Fainted, they will take down a Liquid Diamonds.
Fainted just saved C Esport right there. That's huge. And not only that, also saved KHK. But KHK, they want to get as high ground as possible. They know there's a plateau up top. They don't know how many players are up there. And because of that misinformation, they are just not sure if they're willing to go for the push. Do we have 2 players, 3 players up there? We just don't really know too much. So we're going to take things pretty slow, remain here, and hope for a second place. But now this is a more of a Mexican standoff. Whichever team, two teams decide to fight first, the third team is normally going to be going for a third party. As unfortunately, you're going to be seeing Fainted. They are just pushing themselves forward as they are forced in the center of the circle. This is a team that struggles. They're not the most aggressive, but making it this far is very impressive for this team, showing a very clear improvement from their first day.
Massively so. I'm just impressed that Sia's still in this.
It
looked like they were done for. Wizard gonna have to move. Doesn't want to tank any of that blue damage.
Oh no.
Takes a few pop shots. Now runs on out. They know exactly where to look for him. He does it just in a nick of time and puts some more hurt onto him. Damage being done, but don't go inside the blue, my friend. He took too much damage. KHK will take CE Sports down, but a great valiant effort from the top of the mountain. And now it's Fainted with 3 players up against KHK with 2. 8 kills already found for KHK, but Fainted will be looking to take this one away. Like you mentioned, Max, they've been playing passive. They've been holding back. They've only been jumping up when they think it's time. But soon enough,
that spread.
The sneaky snakes are going to be found. And KHK trying to use the vehicle for some cover. Zero just spraying on through, blows the car up straight away. But there we go. A reply comes through. You put it into a 2v2. Straight in with a finish off. He's looking for more points. They're trying to shoot through the grass. They can't quite connect the shots. Got a little bit of health. Can he get a med kit off? Can he get a first aid kit off at all? Does he have some bandages he can play with here?
Godzilla? Oh, he saw him. He saw him.
Oh. And KHK doing it. One by one. They're getting these knocks through. Godzilla's got to be careful. He's the last one left. Sprays on through. Can't hit it. Now they know where he is. They knew exactly when to take the shots. And KHK, with a 26-point game, will take our first match of the day. The winners of Erangel. And even when they're outnumbered there at the very end, you said the spread was real good from Fainted. Well, they made some mistakes. And when they decided to take the shots, right, they were trying to just catch them through the grass. And instead, that gave the information to KHK to capitalize on.
The spread was really well thought through for Fainted. I really enjoyed how they tried to play it. But unfortunately, the one downfall for them in that one was literally that they were downhill. And the high ground position was going over the side of KHK. The more information was coming their way. I think it was Daisy that was up there. And he could just very clearly have a very big oversight and overlook of what was happening in the circle. That was what made the difference. But still, that's a clear improvement from Fainted. I am very happy to see their improvement from their first day into today.
Well, let's have a look at the scores we get out of our opening match. Now, KHK, they did walk away with 26. Liquid Diamonds still got 20 in it. CE Sports with 18. Fainted 15. And then it starts to trickle down a little bit lesser. A Razor Crew still up there. They'll be happy with that. You know, we spoke about them earlier, needing to have a good day if possible. But for KHK, they played that so well, considering they were outnumbered for a long time. Remember, they were just sat on the eastern side of the circle for the longest part, just watching everything else go around them and just trying to pick a couple off.
You had so much action that was happening over to the west. You had Liquid Diamonds being pinched down between CE Sport and also Fainted. And because of that, they heard all the gunshots. They were just taking a very reserved playstyle. Like, we're not aiming for kills here. We're just going to slowly sneak into the circle, aim for what could be a top 3, which they were able to get at the very end. They got himself a second place and also quite a few kills to show off for it. It's a really good showcase for KHK. As now we're looking on this second page. And we said it right. 2 really big teams from Group B and Group D together, the R Gamers Unite Nation and also Blackjack Esports, both went out very early. So they're not going to be sponging up all those points, which means the other teams in the lobby that were maybe not starting off their best foot on their first day have a very clear chance of making their way in the top 16.
Yeah, they've opened it up for sure, right? This becomes very interesting. We'll take a look at the overall rankings when we come back from the break, but this already makes it very spicy, and KHK looking to just claim that number 1 spot once again as early as possible here, Max. And I think if they can just have like a couple of good, like okay games, you know, terms placement wise, not even having to have big kill games, they'll be laughing by the end of today.
The thing is, when you're looking at these groups, there are only 3 teams that were very high in the standings and that could contest G3 Temper's position. That was going to be Gamers Unite Nation, Blackjack Esport. I mentioned both of those teams that were in 7th and 9th respectively before this, and KHK were in 8th. They had 67 points, and now they just got themselves an extra 20-pointer here. We could be seeing KHK being the top 3, I think, at the end of the day. Overtaking G3 still a very big task at hand, but I think that KHK definitely, if they play like this throughout these next 3 games, they could be first at the end.
Well, let's see what will happen. We've got plenty more games coming your way. And next, we are going to Sanhok. We're going to go for a break. So make sure you go to the toilet, get some snacks, get a drink, whatever else you need. And then make sure you join us back for the second game of the day.
Oppo Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
We are moving into our second match of the day, and we're going to the moist, warm Sanhok Hills, where the action gets a little bit wilder, Max. And Max made that face. Why'd you make that face, Max?
I don't like the word moist. It's such a weird. I told you guys on. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird word with a weird connotation, and I don't like it. Okay. That's
all right. We're batting a word here. I'm just gonna write that down.
I couldn't explain. It's just something.
But okay, so like Sanhok, it's very warm. It looks like rainforest style jungle, you know. So it would be humid, which would be moisture in the air, you know. So it's
you were doing so good. You were doing so good.
Yeah, but it is. It actually is. I'm not wrong.
I mean, you're right technically, but it is humid. It is a very humid map. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what's going to be happening on.
So it's moist.
Okay, you pressed the button on this map too yesterday. We had a Paradise Resort finish, so don't give us the moist. I don't like saying it. It's a weird word. Does that happen? Is that normal to have a word you just don't like, or is it just me?
Not normally. It's an offensive word people don't like. You know, like there's certain words people just freak out.
It is offensive to me. It is.
What? Are you moist?
Mate, how dare you?
There we go. There we go. Rein it back in now. We talked about Sanhok being very moist. I just meant it was just going to be a normal conversation, and Max flipped out about a word.
Yeah.
DK and Alan, our producer, are just in our chat laughing away and dying. Max, yeah. See, they support me, Max. You
I can see chat just spamming it too now.
we love you, chat. This is what it's all for. We're here for the entertainment purposes.
Thank you.
I really want to see the overall standings. I don't even know if it's possible if we're going to have them yet, but I am so, because like it's going to give us a good idea of how far KHK have been able to level themselves up, you know, and it's going to give us a good idea of how easy this rest of the day can be for them. They can just obviously play their best, try and get as many chicken dinners as possible. Yes, we can do it. Thank you very much, producer Alan. He's going to deliver us. There we go, the rankings of where we're at. So we saw this yesterday, T3 Temper, 3 chicken dinners up there. Look how close they got. Do you see?
Already
That's
there?
wild. Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were going to be 4th. I mean, to be honest, my math is like very, very off, and I think that's something people realize by now. But yeah, already in 3rd place, only 2 points behind Team Lag, and just a few further away from G3 Temper. Literally, KHK could stop playing now, and they'll be safe for the top 16. But you want that extra flex value to your game here for the group stage. You want to be first. No one remembers 2nd or 3rd place. Everyone remembers 1st, and you can overtake G3 Temper. That, by the way, we got to say it again, got 3 wins yesterday, and KHK are just potentially 1 game away from catching up, which is insane to think about.
And really, right, what you're saying there is if KHK do kind of take their foot off the gas a bit and drop down, it could still be a position where they start sweating a bit, you know, the moisture comes out and they start to struggle a little bit more. But like, they want to make sure they get as many wins, as many points as possible. Are you okay there, Max? You know, I'm just saying they should get as many points as possible so they don't have to have this issue with the sweating and the moisture. And they want to just sit there at the top of the scoreboards and make it very comfortable themselves without having to worry. Normal stuff, mate.
It's normal, yes. I agree. It's a very good point you make there, James. Yes, that's why we love working with you, James.
You know what? When we get a studio again, yeah, I'm gonna get one of them like squirty bottles, you know.
Oh no!
I'm just gonna spray you randomly at times, and then just whisper in your ear moisture.
The thing is I'm scared because I know you would do it. You would go to that length.
This would be fun.
Just
I've got to enjoy myself.
On a serious note, Fainted, that's a really big jump up. They could be on the third page after this game because they started off with a very big lead to catch up with. They've done really good improvements with the first game, so keep it up, boys. Yep. You might be in the top 16 at the end of the day because after that, you got 4 games remaining after today. That's where it's very, very scary.
Let's fly ourselves in to our second game of the day. It is the moist and warm Sanhok that is coming your way. And as always, we are born to win as we welcome you to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series phones, and you know what you could be doing, dominating the moist lands of Sanhok from start to finish.
I'm just looking right now on our private Discord chat so I can put a crying emoji, crying GIF. There you go. I found it. That is me right now. But that's fine. Yes, on the
Just say humid. just say humid.
On the humid, wet map of Sanhok, we're going to get into it. Z-Sport, they're going to be dropping in Paradise Resort, so that's not going to be too hard for them. And we'll see. Otherwise, we saw that happen yesterday.
You're
with
so
DK
lost, aren't you? I even hear it when you're trying to commentate.
I'm completely off my game right now.
I have broken match.
I've got a weakness. It's like my Achilles, Wait, I'm saying it in French.
Achilles?
Achilles. There you go. Achilles heel. It's a word. And I'm a caster. How does that happen?
Well, to be fair, mate, you beat all of us in terms of commentary because you could commentate in French and in English, you know, and you don't even sound French when you speak English. You know, you don't have any of the accent, so you should pat yourself on the back for that.
Actually, people have been able to notice my accent recently and say, "Are you French?"
Really?
And when I'm speaking in French, they're like, "Are you English?" I'm like, when people don't normally.
Oh, so you're completely lost. Then. You're not actually. You don't count as either of us anymore.
Yeah.
Not French, not British. You just left.
I'm like in the nether realm of languages. I'm just in a weird mixture, like a weird cocktail. I don't know.
I think some words every now and again I can hear a bit of the French accent come out of you, but I would just like if you never told me you live in France and you spent most of your life in France, I would just call you British. Yeah, I would just call you British. I
think it's more like, for example, names or instead of words, but like names. For example, Achilles. I was going to say in French again. That's a weird one.
It's when they're very close though, right? Because I knew exactly what you're saying straight away, and it's just a very slight difference in pronunciation, and then obviously that's where you can get messed up. There's even like obviously I live in Ukraine, so there's words in Ukrainian, but like they say it, and they say it in like how they would, but I already know exactly what they're saying because it's so close, and like their language is nowhere near any of ours. That's very hard.
Salt mines. That's why I live when everyone says moist around me. Such a weird word. I don't know.
Well, you can use salt to help with moisture as well, just so you know.
Actually, that's true. I do like salt. I do. I live in salt.
So you keep lots of salt around you to make sure it's not too moist around you. You know, you're keeping the humidity down.
You do that thing where, like, at dinners, that people used to do where they would take a handful of salt and just throw it over their shoulder. Have you never seen that? Or is that just a French thing?
What?
Yeah, people do that in France.
Throw it over their shoulder. But what?
Yeah, it's like good luck. Like it's good luck, I guess. I just looked at him like that's a waste.
But yeah, but also, what if you're at a restaurant and there's someone behind you and you then throw the salt at someone? You create what's going on there? If someone just throws salt over me, I'll be like, what are you doing? I'm trying to enjoy my meal. Why are you throwing salt at me?
Then you can push even further. It's like, oh man, it's good luck to take your chicken nuggets and just throw them under your knee. It's like, what? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm just pushing it to the limits again. I don't know what to tell you, man. Weird stuff. I'm hungry also. That's great. But if we go on a more serious note, I've actually been very intrigued on this game that KHK have been going for very, very widespread this time. They literally doing a 4-man spread down southwest after not too many teams of Group B, Group D drop in that location. So it does seem like KHK have done a lot of research coming into this. So I do enjoy it. Yeah. But for example, Cave and also Dogs, there's currently 3 teams in that position. It feels good to see a lot of teams play there because it's not very popular normally. Yeah, it's often ignored. It's good to see your teams actually seeing the land of opportunities down south and actually trying to use it.
I want to say though, for KHK's position around Sami and everything, right? I don't remember another team going. I remember the first Sanhok game when it was A and B, and they didn't go there at the beginning. It was like completely. We're going back through my circle logs, my little screenshots. Thanks to DK, obviously puts the stream up so we can look at the map. But like, I remember that whole part of the map was just empty for the first day. So like, maybe KHK have seen something in there. Maybe that's want to take some control. Who else did we see go there that had a lot of success? It was who's the Chinese team that play from Europe?
Panda.
Panda, yes, Panda used to do exactly.
Oh, now
this.
Unicorns of
one of
Love.
the later ones in.
Yeah.
Oh,
They got picked up.
oh, big moves, big
I know, right?
moves.
We'll see them again.
Shout out to them. Yeah. Although I am gonna miss saying Panda. I love that.
Actually,
man.
it was a nice one. I like the name, but
Remember
now
when
we
we
go from
got,
Panda to Unicorns.
we got Froz to dress up as a panda, and he got poked with a stick.
I don't know how you guys had that just ready. Just
We didn't.
prepared.
DreamHack just seemed to have everything in the studio, so it was like, cool, this is perfect. They've obviously been having some parties, and yeah, poor Froz was sweating, very moist the whole time. When he took the mask off, it was problematic for him. Shout out to
I still need
Froz.
to do my beatbox. I still have to do that.
Yes, you
Still have to do
let
that.
us down. Everyone else committed, Max. What did you do? Failed.
Nothing. I just ran away like the coward I am. Just like when I fight against a bot in PUBG Mobile, I'm just like, no, I'm not taking a fight. I can't win.
Mate, it's so easy to know they're bots as well, right? You just run around them and then just take a few pop shots, and you realize they're slow reactions to you, and just go, oh, okay, this will be the easy one.
But they've got a
also
very
go with,
famous
false
pattern of shots
confidence.
too. It is just like pap, 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 pap. They only one tap. They don't spray. Pretty
Oh,
obvious.
here we go. DK's helping us out here. He's like, Team IQ has a player called Panda, so I will still get to say Panda in some way.
Yeah, make it to EMEA Championship, please. We need you. We need you, boys.
Wait a sec. We should, if Unicorns of Love should have called themselves Pandacorns of Love. No, that's not going to work. I was trying to go with something there. That ignored me.
Yeah, no.
That was a fail.
Sorry now.
I was trying to find a way for that to work. This is a very quiet start to Sanhok, though. Let's be honest. We've had both times. It's been very chill. Like everything is just relaxed. No one's getting too crazy just yet. Maybe the pressure in their minds is also starting to play a factor into this. Like getting onto these last set of games. Obviously, this group they will still have another 4 ahead of them after they finish out today. But it's like you're probably looking at this and thinking, well, how much more can I gain from this? If I don't do well today, maybe I don't have a chance anymore. Maybe I'm right on the edge. I need to push a little bit further. You've got to find that balance between what you want to do in terms of getting aggressive, making sure you get enough points, but not overextending and getting slapped down and then going out very early on. So there'll be a lot of tough decisions for some of these teams and players to make for sure.
Yeah. There's a wide array of things you can do in this circle. And also talking about this circle, yesterday when we look at what we had in terms of circle, it was very mainland focused over to the east, a little bit further up north, and it did end up in Paradise Resort. This circle is actually pretty interesting when you look into the potential of what this circle could become in the future, because you have literally every single island of Sanhok still in play on phase 1. You've got the northwestern island, the southwestern island, and also the mainland over to the east. That means the trifecta and the rivers are in play. And unfortunately, one of the worst aspects of Sanhok, why potentially a lot of players dislike this map the most, is because of these rivers. And if it does end up going towards those positions, teams are going to have to swim, cross on over, go through the bridges, maybe go for botations even. It hasn't happened yet, but phase 2 will give us a good idea, at least, of what kind of play style teams might have to adapt to. So phase 2 that's going to appear in just a minute's time, just about, will be very... at least we'll give at least a very huge amount of information of how you're going to have to play for the remainder of this game. So I'm just hoping teams are aware, looking out, and getting prepared for whatever thing might come their way.
Now, I'm glad you touched on the rivers, because I remember this game from the spring split when it came for the Africa PMCO. And what did we have? We had an ending that was going to go to ruins, and then it ended up being on the bridge, and it was just people sat in the water, healing underneath the bridge the whole time. And we were like... Who is going to win? What is going to go? Like, that was the most wildest ending, because technically, I guess the AI, right, or the system within PUBG Mobile thought that it was land because there's a bridge there. There was no one on that bridge. They were picking up a few kills and doing what they could, but yeah, it was tough, man. It was just 2 people in the water at the end trying to stay alive as long as possible.
Yeah, that's when you used to push the button every game, but not anymore. You turned a new leaf. I got to say, big improvements. We got normal games now happening. But yeah, that was a very wild circle, and it doesn't happen too often, but at least that maybe gave a little bit of experience to teams with how you got to deal with it. And hopefully, if that happens again, we might see a little bit of a better execution on their side. Man, what a setup from KHK. Big 2-2 spread. 2 players on the high ground, 2 players with good rock and terrain to play from. And they're getting their way towards Immortals. So even though Immortals are pretty safe, I don't think that fight's going to go anywhere. But if the circle goes up north, that means there's going to be an extra time factor added. It's not going to happen because it does come their way. But straight down south, meaning the northwestern island is pretty much out of play for the future circles, but Ruins could still be in play. The northern side of Nakam and Sameh could still be in play. Painan can be in play. So we have yet to know which island we're going to finish on. So that river, if you can play around it and facilitate for future rotations, that'll be very, very valuable for the likes of these teams, and especially for Fainted. I'm looking at their spot next to the bridge. Don't move. That is a golden position for wherever the circle might go in the next phase.
Now, Immortals are at least aware of the looming threat of KHK. You spoke about the good 2-2 split coming in here. If the Immortals do want to move, well, they're going to open themselves up to quite the firing range, but it's at least positive that Immortals are looking out for this. KHK definitely seem to have the understanding that teams would be around here, completely lock them in, probably spot them out for a few of the windows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, Gun going up against Somalia here. Gun getting off the nades. Here we go. This is the utility we spoke about from the African region. One grenade puts Chapo down on the floor. Somalia want to try push this as a team. Their team fights have been very strong, but can they handle the likes of Gun? This is a very strong team that they would have to go up against here. Trying to fight back against them for now. First few shots can be put onto Pounds, but he's playing it well. Another one on the floor. Somalia getting themselves taken out here. Need to try and fight back. Kingerman up on the hill.
Oh, this is risky. Oh, they're shooting it back to Liquid Diamonds right now. This is so scary to fight on that slope, Guns. You got to try and move out of there right now. Go in that building that's down below. You do not want to die on that hill.
Too open. Very scary.
There you go. They went into it. That's good.
And Pounds can just hold the ground. He's going to have cover from his teammates anyway. Somalia have already lost one player. Beast was the one that went down. They have stabilized since then and revived everyone else, but Gun have the upper hand, and even Somalia will be exposed to Liquid Diamonds as well. If they want to look up this way, they would have heard the shots. They will know what potentially is going down around them. This is where the keen eye comes into play.
Yeah, Somalia looking for maybe a little bit of an extra push, but there's one thing in that fight that I really enjoyed from Guns, actually, and I do want to spill the beans on that one. I think it was really well played. Yeah, Pounds was taking a 1v1 on the northern slope of this hill, and he was actually winning that fight pretty clearly. He got himself a little bit of an HP advantage, and he was potentially looking to actually clear that one kill down. But he did not get overzealous. He did not push himself the extra mile. He just waited for one of his teammates to join him, and then he went for the push as a two-man. That is just a good showcase of synergy and communication from Guns. It's a very small thing that people might not notice quickly, but the fact that you just waited an extra, 2-3 seconds was just what they needed to not only make sure they get the knock, but also make sure they don't get knocked themselves, so they could very easily rotate in the building they're currently standing. The 2-3 seconds very clearly, James, can make a huge difference, right? And this time, they just played it correctly. It's very by the book, yet so effective. I love to see more of that from Guns.
Certainly something to keep an eye on. And this is where you see teams that maybe set themselves aside from others, you know, because you can be really great at aiming. You can have some good strategies and protocols on what you want to do, but it's also able to adapt on the fly, thinking outside the box sometimes, going for some of these smarter players. Yeah, little details can change such a big percentage of how your game will pan out. We know there's some incredibly skilled players on this lobby that maybe just don't find the success because they're maybe not able to kind of have the same teamwork or synergy that's going on as other teams in here. And that obviously comes from playing together as a team a long time as well. As the circle will give us a boot camp potential finish in play. Liquid Diamond are living the dream still right now. KHK and Immortals still just absolutely chilling, you know, still trying to lock them in. The problem is for the two KHK players are split down towards the south. Obviously, it's not a massive distance they're going to have to go further, but they will probably have to move before the Immortals decide to move. And that's probably what the Immortals are waiting for. And then they've got to then deal with the other two players. So if they can somehow take a good team fight, there is potential that Immortals can still walk out of there. But right now, neither team are moving. Like, they are just holding on.
Fainted. Oh, they're all prone down, not making a lot of noise compared to Kaneki right now for Expert, that's making quite a lot of noise. A lot of audio cues that are going to be picked up by Fainted. So Kaneki knows that he does not want to push that one up. Otherwise, his head is going to be blown right off instantly. And apparently, DK is telling me the chat is spamming the word, the infamous word. So thank you guys. I appreciate the chat. But there's one thing, and he talked about right now the team that's living the dream that was Liquid Diamonds.
Yes.
you know a lot of teams are going to push in their direction. And
Oh, yeah, you can fight in that.
I
It's
want to
easy
see them go
breach.
to 2-2 spread minimum. Going for a 4-man split, one player north, one east, one south, one west is too much of a risk. Go for 2-2. If I were them, I would put 2 players down south, 2 players over to the east, or maybe on the opposite side if they want, depending if they want to play defensive or play the reserve play style. I love it, but right now Liquid Diamonds need to regroup. Though, one thing that cannot be done for Immortals, as 2 players get knocked away from the northern side of the road, and now KHK are going to full send it here, James. They want those 4 kills.
They've been patiently waiting, biding their time. Wally comes in, nice bit of damage, can't get the knock on Lewis. He's there straight away, protecting his teammate. And KHK, they want to strike. They're doing the jump shots. Can he finish him off this way?
Just get in.
You're actually fine to just climb in, mate. You can do it. I don't think they'll be able to risk it. Jebot will find himself getting knocked, but look at this. Umar is stuck. They know exactly where he is. Shots coming out towards him. Doesn't matter where he moves to. He is going to be absolutely rolled on. 4 kills, swiftly done by KHK. Patience pays off, and they did that so well. That's the team fights. I need to swore there. Sorry, that's the team fights that I really love. That's when I get hyped about the PUBG madness that we get to see, because right there, that is exactly how you should be playing it out.
It's fine. You already offended me with the word moist earlier, so
I didn't swear though. I nearly swore. I got excited. I got carried away. You know, I love what I see from some teams. That was perfect. That was brilliant. Like the fact that Wally went for the road cross and Lewis was just holding that window, instantly was there to protect him. That changed everything, because it was already looking bad for him, right? Not for KHK, obviously, for Immortals. But then they would, if they got that knock onto Wally, then maybe there's a way they could have won that out. But nope. Teamwork was on point. And KHK can now push on forward with no real issues and grabbed all the extra loot as well.
Yeah, you were reading my mind there. I was exactly about to mention that play, how Lewis was just defending while the player was pushing. It's another small detail like we saw earlier with Pounds with guns. It is those small little intricacies that set you a mile ahead of the rest of the competition. So great stuff from KHK as they do remain as a 4-man crew. Now they can start moving. They're going to go right through Painan without information, but they will make it happen. The ATL Magicians, they got himself one of the best compounds. It is down below, but now all the other teams are going to be flushed down these hilltops, down those slopes, and the potential of kills that could be coming ATL Magician's way is absolutely astonishing. So if their gunplay is on point, I think ATL Magicians could come out of this game potentially with a double-digit kill count, but they are needing to be so good on their communication for it to actually work out.
And for anyone realizing, right, like I was a professional player many years ago in another game, but it was still a team game. But what I'll say is, you don't actually have to have the best aim, right? Or the best kind of tactics that come into it sometimes. If you have good synergy with your teammates, good communication, that can level you up quite far, because if you're able to have the belief and confidence your teammates have got your back and you know what they're going to do, that takes a worry out of your mind. How many times have you sat in a game, Max, just like a public game or just a ranked game, even playing with some of your friends, and you know that maybe one of the players is not as good, or you can't rely on what he said, but it starts to put doubt in your mind and you then have to overcheck things, you know? If you know that, like, okay, he's got me, I'm going to go for it, and you just make the play, having that ability to not need to worry changes it, because confidence is everything when you want to go for some of these crazy fights.
You need trust, really, when you come into it. If you have to double check, you're basically doing 2 jobs in one game, and that just puts a lot of mental strain on yourself, so you've got to be careful. So yeah, trust is very important, just like we saw from earlier with Pounds from Gun, and it worked out amazingly well for them. Though, talking about guns, they're going to have a lot of action coming their way, as Liquid Diamonds trying to move away, currently going for a 2-2 spread, actually, away from Bootcamp, which I find very surprising. They're not pushing together, which I don't think is the good play to go for. And now they're on this slope, which is so hard to move away from. What is this push from Venom and Bash? I'm not enjoying this, James, as now they're just going to be pinched between 2 teams. Exusial just seen them from the back end, just going to try and pick them up one by one. Darkness is trying to go and run for the heals, but guns are still up there. Yeah, Liquid Diamonds had a strong position, could have been one of the first teams to rotate, but went for a path that I would say is just way too risky for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what Liquid Diamonds are trying to do. You had such a good spot in boot camp that you could have walked in. Maybe, yes, there's more teams heavily contested at North, but going as a team before, rather than coming out, you swung wide out of boot camp, maybe to stop other teams crossing over the bridge. You didn't achieve anything off the back of it. Like, you've lost a player already, had no kill points coming in there, and now you're going into the killing field as such. And, well, Exusia, you already touched on them. They were alongside some of the Liquid Diamonds players. They're now being shot at as well. There's plenty of teams looking out towards them. KHK still grouped up as a full squad, looking to do more. They've already found another kill to give them 5 total for this. Zelgod wants to put the hurt on him, but instantly shots come back out towards him. Phase 5 is no joke. He's popping the first aid kit. He will manage to make it, but for how long can you stay there and hide it out? You've only got some bandages now left, buddy.
This is a big circle, though, for ATL Magicians.
Yeah, they sat pretty again.
Yeah, again, though, you're going to have even more eyes on your position, so they need to make sure they can defend it. I said it even more now, so this could be a huge kill count game, though. KHK going to go for the push it. Jebot! This is risky, makes it inside, but I think he's going to go down instantly as he gets picked up. There's no way. KHK tried to put a play inside the circle, but unfortunately, there was nothing to do with it. There's still another. There's Lewis there, but Jebot is not going to get rezzed up in a million years. That is not happening.
Trying to cook the perfect nade, though, Ash. Seeing what he can get done.
That's good.
Under, over, and back down they go. Lewis, very low on health. No hope at all for him in this one. Oh, he don't. Okay, he didn't get knocked down.
He's good.
Just stayed up alive. He had his health.
He's solo. Oh, Fainted, though. This is the game where you're hoping for Fainted. In the next update of PUBG Mobile, they add sledges so they can just slide down because they are doing this by foot and it's just horrible. It is so hard. They still got 2 players and actually got himself a QBZ, so that's going to be a pretty decent weapon at this kind of range, but there's no one in front. Race can't get eliminated. Now down to 10 at Team 6 got eliminated. And they're forgetting about Lewis right now. I think, do they even know Lewis is there? Because they got 1 kill confirmed. They might not be 100% sure. Okay, the smoke got refreshed. They know Lewis is there.
Yeah. Because I thought he died, so maybe they thought he died as well. But no, Lewis is going to still try and stand strong. But Ash, he's got these nades. He's been cooking it well. Lewis has got his skates on. He ran away, said he's not messing about with that one. And there may be at least a chance in here to take a 1v1 fight, potentially get another kill point.
Oh,
not bad at all, Dev. He just wanted to try and be cheeky and now go through the window. Another nade's going to be cooked. The Drogons are going to fall. There's only 6 teams remaining, 15 alive. We're at the 20-minute mark, just going over the 21-minute mark. And soon enough, Chaos is just going to be completely taking over Sanhok because everyone's been falling. There's plenty of utility being used. The Magicians now even have to move out of their spot, but they've controlled this western side for the entire time. So there's no real issues for them. They just need to deal with Lewis. And he is being a thorn in their side. He's just keeping them busy at this point.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not pushing it as a full squad. Like, just even sending 3 players or 4 players into it, I think they would have been fine. Make sure you clear the rest of the West and push in. Now, because they spend so much time onto Lewis, actually, they wasted a lot of an opportunity and lost a lot of free real estate in this phase 6 circle. Now teams have set up shop. You see in Blackjack Esport, they set up shop. They're already looking pretty golden. You're looking at other teams. They're also looking really good, such as Experts. This is not going to be an easy one for the side of ATL Magicians as Chapo does get knocked away. They still have a chance, but the utility is going to be traded away, and Zane does not want to allow them to get any closer to their spot. Oh, the circle's on the road. Oh, no.
Oh, the split.
Oh, no.
The split. Benefits, though. Is that Rez down there? Yeah. Fainted. There we go. 2 of them was... Yeah, 2 of them by the looks of it from the map stream.
Are they going to get 2 top 3s in a row after a very hard start on day 1? That would be an insane comeback. The anime redemption arc is happening for Fainted. It's huge as Lewis gets picked up. That's going to be another kill. Kill number 8 actually for ATL Magicians, but that's going to be causing them 2 players to get picked up. But Blackjack Esport, they can't go for the kill confirm right now, unfortunately. The other way to do it is with nades, but I'm pretty much sure that they don't have any more to play with. Oh, this is a tricky one. As Fainted still holding on strong, got himself 4 kills. As he's rushing, and he makes it to the rock. They're not quite in circle, but just a few more meters, and they are pretty much safe for the next phase.
I felt tense for him as he made that run. Poor Zane.
Zane?
Going to get absolutely mowed down instantly. The Magicians up now at 9 kills. Only lost Spectre so far. Fainted with just 2 players. A rock to hide behind, trying to work their way forward. Legacy able to slowly but surely drone his way on through. Chapo being shot at. And everyone's just taking little fights without going fully all the way in for it.
Good.
If Fainted can pick up these 2 kills, though, that's going to be huge.
Easy.
If they can get this win, it's going to be massive. This is so on point for them.
It's a top 2 in the first place if they win it now. This is such a good day for Fainted. What a redemption arc. I'm loving it. And Ash is going to get spotted away. There's no escape.
No. Some shots landed at the end, but it won't work out for him. Fainted walk away with the win. A huge turnaround for these guys. We were very impressed with what we saw when it came to how they played that last Erangel game. But this Sanhok game, getting the win at the end there, despite only having 2 players, when it came to that part, good fight from them on their hands.
They had the hardest rotation very clearly. They were going downhill. They were spotted away by KHK. They were spotted away also by other teams, ATL Magicians. I thought, okay, this is pretty much GG for them, but it seemed like KHK and ATL just forgot about two other players for a second there, and they made it over to the rocks, and because of the circle ending actually a little bit further down south of the road, they just held on to it and played it so well. Once again, this is a second place and a first place back-to-back for a team that I had very low hopes for. I don't want to be too critical about them, but I saw them play day one. There was too many mistakes, but it goes to show that they worked on that a lot. I can't even imagine the amount of VOD review and training they put into that, because this looks like a completely different team, James.
Yeah, they were not happy at the start, but now they've come alive to see if they can give themselves a fighting chance of winning this. We're going to take a look at the match rankings, though, and see what we got throughout this game. So a 23-point game in the end there for Fainted. ATL Magicians walking away with 21. And then from there on down, it kind of actually spreads out not too bad for a Sanhok game here, Max.
It's actually pretty nice. It's not also down to... I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to take it back. It is down to kills mostly. 6 kills for Gamers Unite Nation, 3 kills over to Team Unique, despite getting only 1 positioning point. C-Sport getting 5, 6 for KHK. The spread in kills is really strong, going to show that it is a game of Sanhok is a little bit all over the place. I'm genuinely impressed by how Fainted play that game. It was... I would say it was a mistake that they were left alive, making it downhill. That should not have happened, but they had an opportunity given to them and they struck gold. And if they can make that happen once again, despite maybe not having the amount of risk that they had initially, I think they could become a very consistent team if they can play like this on a relevant basis. And on to the second page, Liquid Diamonds. I think here, James, one of the team with the most potential. They had such a good opportunity being in boot camp with a circle like that, but they did nothing of it, went for wacky rotations, and it just went downhill from there on out. Yeah,
I would love to speak to some of the Liquid Diamonds players and just say, like, what was the sense in that, you know, like what actually was the reason behind it? Because they must have seen something to make them go and call for that, right? Maybe they were just trying to hold off more of the teams on the western side coming across. Maybe they thought there's more teams there, but when they were so split up, like, you were in such a good position, we expect you to be able to push on down. Didn't kind of work out for them. And then, well, they got taken out very early on, and you can see what it did for them in terms of the points they could grab here on Sanhok. But Max, you're leaving us for a little bit. You'll be coming back not too long after the next match. You don't get any Miramar. It's just me and DK that get to enjoy it. You know, it's my time.
I'm not going to curse anyone. It's fine. I won't curse anyone, so that's fine. The teams will be safe for this one game. I'm coming back for game 4, so you better be careful.
But you're lucky, right? We can't say moist many more times when it comes to Miramar. That's more of the desert side of things. So you'll be safe. Your ears will be fine. You'll be able to deal with it. But all of you guys at home, I'm sure you've enjoyed it. I know the spam that came through on chat. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing it to wind up Max. That's what we're all here for. But we will go to a break, and when we come back, we will be bringing you Miramar for the third game. Can Fainted continue this really solid, consistent results? A first place and a second place so far today. They will be looking to jump up the scoreboards. Let's see how they get done.
Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Welcome back, everybody, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Africa full split. We're moving into game 3, and I've got DK with me as we've pushed Max aside, so we get to have our boomer moments here from start to finish, and some Miramar, as we were just saying, you know, like we were just talking about how different maps are said by different people and trying to get things right, and then Max tried to get me to say mobile, and I just said mobile. He asked me how I say it. What was his version?
A mobile or mobile? That was the question.
I just say mobile.
Yeah.
What do you go mobile? You guys are like
Mobile
much,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Cool.
an age thing.
Yeah, it's always going to come back to being the age thing for sure. We are the boomers when it comes to this, but we get to watch plenty of Zoomers rock it up when it comes to playing PUBG Mobile. Now, these first couple of games saw fainted surprise us, DK. Like, we would have never predicted them to be doing this well early on. Do you reckon they can keep it up?
Well, they definitely have been showing the potential. I mean, a really, really impressive bounce back coming in from them, especially just now in the Sanhok match. So, yeah, we're curious to see whether or not they're going to be able to continue with that momentum, push through in towards Miramar, potentially up in towards Erangel once again. But also, got to say, though, I'm pretty impressed with the performance we've been seeing coming in from the teams of CE Sports and, of course, the Liquid Diamonds. They've just been bringing it. And then also, I mean, KHK, they've been just showing a great amount of dominance today.
And KHK right now maybe wouldn't be too happy with how this Sanhok game went at the end, but just what we're seeing, like the teamwork, you know, the things we were highlighting of how they approach situations has been very good. We know that Sanhok can get pretty crazy and difficult for a lot of these guys to deal with. But Miramar, obviously being my favorite, I get to see it kind of pan out probably a bit more passive. Actually, even the Sanhok start was very passive at the beginning. Like Erangel was incredibly slow to start off with. But it seems like this lobby is the more passive when it comes to it. We're talking about the difference in the groups and the aggression that some teams show and don't. But even when we're matching it together, B&D, they still seem to be in a position where it's like very calm, not really going for anything too crazy early on. So I am interested to see maybe if anything changes up on Miramar. Maybe they've got a different approach when it comes to it. Maybe some of these teams will start to fight each other a bit more. But they're still focusing more on their own points, which they need to do at this point, rather than trying to slow anyone else down. Because it's only on the last couple of days we start to see the real madness where, okay, we might hunt for a team here. We want to push them down. Don't take any of our spots away, especially on the final parts where, you know, you get just only a few points separating whether they're going to qualify or not to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get ever closer as we, progress through the day and also through the days leading up to the end of the group stage. And so far, I mean, today has been a very calculated gameplay that we've been seeing coming in from the teams. Yes, the first few stages, the first few phases being a little bit more quiet, as you've pointed out. But as we get into those later phases, the teams just dial that aggression up, to 12, 13, 15 even at times. And I mean, it's such beautiful gameplay coming out of this. I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing what they're going to be bringing once we move into Miramar now.
Oh, yes, that's what it's all about. And we're not too long away from getting into it. Obviously, we saw that KHK, they only need just a couple of good games or just high point games, and they're going to be well above the 100-point mark. I think they're probably not that far from it now because they've got a good bunch of kills, at least in Sanhok, at least 6. Placement points, maybe not as much as what they would have wanted, but obviously they can rectify that coming into Miramar. But I feel like for today, they are really on task to be jumping ahead of all the teams that were in A and C that we saw just yesterday. So they've got their eyes on the prize in a big way. They know what they need to do. And I definitely think that it's going to be one where we look at them and we look at a team like Somalia, who have had very opposite days. KHK have stayed consistent, right? Okay, didn't get a chicken dinner out of anything here yet, but in terms of at least what we saw from Somalia, they ended so strong. And it was Miramar where we started to see they got that second place. Can they bring that back into it? Is maybe Miramar the map where they have some confidence and they start to feel better about it? Or maybe they just need a longer warm-up mode, you know? Maybe they should have got on the practice games a bit earlier.
Well, we never know. I mean, anything could still happen moving into our third game here of the day. And potentially, yes, it could be that match in which we see the players there from Team Somalia just step up, just absolutely obliterate the competition. So I got to say, it's going to be quite an exciting match to get into. So far, the previous two matches have been really, really impressive. And I got to say, though, I mean, I don't know if it's really a thing, but I feel like this group of teams, they're really strong, though.
Yeah, and this is the fact, right? You can sometimes see a couple of groups be put together that seem stronger than the rest of them, and that's why we're maybe seeing more of these kill points be distributed in a different way. But we do begin our descent up into Miramar. We are on our third game out of 4 of the day, and as always, we're born to win. So welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series, and you know that is the phone you need to be putting in your hands to own it up in PUBG Mobile. And that's what we're about to see, these teams owning up with a very southern plane path here. Not the end of the world for Miramar. Maybe some teams will have to grab some vehicles and go on a bit of a rotation early on, depending on where they actually want to go. But overall, teams should not have too much of a problem with this.
Yeah, definitely should not have too much of an issue with that. We already see the players there from CE Sports and actually fainted, being the first 2 teams jumping off of that plane. So I'm curious to see, though, you know, just how much these teams are looking to spread out throughout the zone. And also curious and waiting in anticipation to see where that first initial zone is going to be popping, because as we've seen quite a few times on Miramar, you know, that position, that utilization of the zone is absolutely essential for the teams. And they've had enough games now to try and assess the competition, figure out the best ways to try and counter their approaches. And I'm seeing a little bit more of that VOD review starting to be reflecting in the play of the teams here, but I'm hoping to see even more of a build in that as we progress through this match.
Oh, wow. Not a huge amount of water in there. Not going to get my island finished. I can't really dream of it from this. Let's be realistic. But straight away, KHK in the fight with Affiliate Apex. Before even really the looting had started. Oh, big shotgun kills coming through. That's 2 knocks coming in for him. KHK, this is not what they would have wanted. Things were looking so good for him, but Affiliate Apex, they just eliminate him real quick. No one even knocked for AE, and that is the dream start for these guys. A swift 4 kills. They'll get all the loot they would have wanted, and they did it with not even the best weaponry in hand.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even suffer a single hit. Just look at their health bars, still in perfect condition. So a really healthy start coming in there from Affiliate Apex, really putting quite a big hold to the progress there for the players from KHK. But as we saw, they already pretty well established on that leaderboard, so I don't think that's going to hurt them too much. But another team that we're going to be looking at, of course, is the players here from CE Sports coming in with a 2-2 split. It's good to see Wizard and Ricky now making their way through. We did see a really strong play coming in from Wizard over on towards Erangel. Now, will he be able to continue with that push moving in here? A nice little bit of a fruitcake on the hat there, on the head. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a luck charm.
Good luck charm, you know. Or maybe he's just trying to blend in. He's going to say, like, it's warm weather out here. This is the fruits that can grow.
The desert flowers, yes.
He's like prone down, and they're like, "Oh, that's just the banana tree, no problem." And he's like, "Surprise, it's me!"
Brah, brah. Down they go. Yes, exactly. I think that was like a play-by-play that we just gave of what's about to come.
Yeah,
we just gotta wait and see now. Yeah,
we just keep an eye on him the whole way through. Here's the man we stay with. But see, already getting in their vehicles and working their way around. There was a team Exuzia just coming behind them, so that battle won't be taking place just yet. Bit of a waiting game to see where Exuzia want to go and play it out from there. Now, we didn't really touch on the circle too much, right? Because the action started to happen very early on. The very opposite to what we've seen in the first opening 2 games, but not huge amounts of water in there. It's not a bad circle at all. It's just very southern side. We had the plane that was also down there. But what's interesting is Los Higos, Valdemar, Prison. We have 3 teams in these locations very close to each other, where every other time there's only ever been one team that even goes to any of those spots. So right now heavily contested down on this southwestern island. And when these guys want to move, it's going to be about maybe who's going to be moving first, and is anyone going to sit there and wait to see if they're going to come across going from west to east. You can camp it out a bit if you want and try and blow them up if they go on some vehicle rotations. So that I will be certainly looking at, see how it all goes down. But for now, we're with the Drogans who, well, the Drogans, they were here last season. They played pretty good. I think they got to the finals and then we started to see them struggle a bit more. Right now, they need to get a few more points if they want to secure their chances of making to the finals once again. But it's certainly not easy, as we spoke about many times. The competition has got tougher and tougher within this region.
Yeah, but we've really seen the teams step it up. You know, if we look back to what we had in the previous season, I mean, just looking at a team, for instance, like KHK, last season, they ended up in 6th place on a grand total of 138 points. Now, currently, they're only about, 30 odd points away from that exact score. And that's only after 6 games. I mean, they still have 6 more to go. So if they continue with this momentum, they could really be dominating the group stages. But, group stages, nothing yet compared to what the performance is like moving into finals. But I think it's like a healthy kind of preparation stage to give us a kind of sneak peek of what we could be expecting. And so far, I mean, I got to say, I'm really, really impressed by the performances coming in from all the teams here.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like, right now, obviously, some of these teams have still got 2 more games to play, including this one and then the next Erangel one. But there is such a tight knit of points between, you probably say, like, let's say 25, which is where zero tolerance skills sit, all the way up to Team Somalia in 13th place. It's just like one game, you can leapfrog all of those guys. That's a huge change. So that's all it looks like for some of these teams, is that they are so close, yet it feels so far, because obviously what we're saying and looking at points, you think, oh yeah, you get a 25-point game. That's not easy to do, right? It's very difficult. But if you can, it can massively see you save your chances and almost guarantee you a spot towards going towards the finals.
Yeah, I mean, thinking of it, there's quite a few factors that could actually assist a team in, solidifying a spot, moving into those 16 into the top 16. One of those definitely is consistency. Yes, you don't necessarily need to have the best placement points. You don't need to necessarily get the winner chicken dinner every match. Well, aside from the fact that if your name is G3, that is something that you're definitely going to be pushing for. But
Yep.
You just got to be consistent in your efforts. Got to consistently try and finish at least in the top 10. You need to finish in the money, with right there where the points are, but also be aggressive enough. Not overly aggressive, but just aggressive enough. Just bring in those kills, bring in those placement points, and the consistency will pay off at the end of the day. Obviously, the closer you get to the end of the group stage, you can then start looking at what you need to tweak. Should you focus a little bit more on the kills, trying to get into even later phases, securing even deeper placement points? All those little dynamics can really start coming to work as you progress through. But now, being pretty much at the halfway point, the teams, I think they should pretty much know by now what they need to focus on and what their best strat could be moving forward from this point.
Now, we did, just before we came here to Team Somalia, saw where Fainted were going. A team that we want to keep an eye on because of how much success they've seen very early on here. If they can keep it going on Miramar, this could be life-changing throughout this tournament for these guys in terms of the points they can grab and what success they might be able to find. Experts, not a team that we've spoken about too much across the days. Not having the greatest of times overall. I'm just trying to look. They are currently down in 27th position. Got 29 points to their names. But still 2 more games for them to try and go further up here. But for these guys, it really is kind of, maybe at this point, just starting to think, okay, maybe we can't do this unless something massively changes. But it's also about experience. I think what people don't really understand is there are so many teams within this, right? This might be their real big first tournament, We spoke about the amount of new teams that came through onto the PMCO. For these guys, they're playing, they're trying their best, but every game like this, official games being so much different to like practice games or just playing throughout your ranked games, it gives you huge amounts of experience you can take going forward. And that's how you level up as a player. You don't often come in and just go crazy and win out your first big tournament, Has to take some time, some adjustments for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, another way to level up is with the Reno 5, gives you just to age you in having a fighting chance. And now, speaking about fighting chances, we see that zone moving up once again, heading back over in towards that northeastern region. So already a decent position coming in there for the players of Gun as well as the Immortals. A very centralized play. But I mean, look at the players there from CE Sports, perched all the way up in the north, almost completely uncontested, aside from Ophelia and Apex, the players from Fainted, and then also Exusia that still need to find their way back into zone. So I'm curious to see, though, what CU Sports is going to be bringing. There's quite a bit of potential for them to just swoop in those later phases, while the rest of the lobby down over in the southwestern side, they're just going to be fighting tooth and nail to secure a decent position, with Los Leones even being in play now.
I was just going to ask you, do you like to see a Los Leones city ending like that?
Oh, man, like as a player, probably not, because it's brutal. Yeah,
yep.
But you know, as casters, it makes for beautiful gameplay. I mean, the teams are really put to the test. They are really challenged, and yeah. So as a caster, Loki, yes, but yeah, I don't know. Fortunately, I'm not playing, so it doesn't really bother me too much.
See, for me, I know the players hate it. I love to see it. I love to watch the madness. I want to watch the world burn. So give it to me. Give us the entertainment factor. Because, like you just said, it is also putting the teams to a very tough test. It's not easy to deal with. You never know what's going to happen. It becomes very close. You often get players just sitting in buildings, you know, and trying to fire out as much as possible. But yeah, I like to see it all get very crazy. It's obviously less, like it's a bit more RNG when it comes to that, you know, a bit more random overall. But I like it. I like to enjoy the people trying to fly out of buildings, trying not to get hit by the zone, struggling to know which way to go or which team's going to be in the building next to you. Let's see what happens.
I mean, I got to say, though, I would be quite satisfied if the zone just headed down into the south. I mean, this whole southern region is such a difficult position to be playing in. And teams like Unique, you know, you can see them just hiding on those ridge lines, trying to put the shots straight up through into the teams that are looking to rotate past. And it provides them with a lot of those opportunities to come in with a bit of a sneak attack, just wrap around the ridge lines, the valleys, sneak closer and closer, come in with a spray, and as Exist now takes aim over towards Exusia. I mean, this is a really interesting spot to be fighting in.
Yeah, he obviously had him spotted out by his team. They're in a 2-2 split themselves now. They took a bit of damage, but they have stayed alive. No knocks coming through. Unique now having some shots returned out towards them, so Expert are willing to fight this. It's how much time these teams want to take it, because also as other teams start to maybe rotate past them, come towards their position, these shots are going to be heard. Potentials of third parties coming on through. So they don't want to commit maybe too much to it just yet. They might have to wait a little bit. A lot of teams just gambling on the outside of Los Leones for now as well.
Ooh. That's a rip right there. Sorry, not sorry. Just sending the sprays into Danzot. I think Danzot was maybe AFK. I think that might be a healthy assumption
lag out
to make there.
Yeah.
I mean, Team Lag is not here, so we can't say they're experiencing lag. So I don't know. You know, this is a very unique situation that Excusia find themselves in. And yes, sir, Bob. This is going to be a pretty crazy zone.
Ghana in a really good position. They're going to be living the dream right now. They can just comfortably stand where they are, wait to see what other teams are going to do and push in towards it. The south side and the eastern side is going to be the most contested here. Liquid Diamonds just out on the road at the moment, looking to push in and get a more central position. One of the earlier teams to be able to get an advantage within this new circle. Danzot's still on the floor, though, from what we're seeing here. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get any help. I don't know if it's going to work out for him. The Drogon's got some players being shot at here. Ghost is low. Needs to make sure he heals himself up. And this is exactly what he had done just as it came on towards him.
Oh, I mean, this is a really tough spot for the players there from Drogons to be in. But, I mean, it's beautiful for Era Crew. They can just sit up, perched on the hilltop, just ripping down into the Drogons. Oh man, Shaky just having a really tough time, but being so close to that vehicle could also be super dangerous for them if Ghost continues with these efforts. But I'm liking this approach coming in from Era, just utilizing this ridge line, lining the team up, focusing their attention all the way down on towards the Drogons. And now it's so difficult because once the Drogons try and move away from that position, Zane is hiding right there behind them, so we could see a beautiful third party come in. Meanwhile, the players from Race Clan also trying to still find that rotational path back up into zone. And I mean, I gotta say, this is gonna be a pretty brutal zone. You said it, and I have to agree with you. I mean, looking at the position we have, for instance, for the players there from Ophelia and Apex, that could be a pretty golden spot to be in. But now the Drogons still just trying to find their way through this compound, and I'm looking to see if Zane's gonna potentially try and even strike here.
Yeah, he's on the outskirts of this fight. Probably heard what's going on. I can definitely see it for sure. The Drogons are pinned down and they're just little ants trying to scurry away as shots come out towards them. As Rays going into this position, are they aware? First few shots come out towards them. Now they certainly do know. Kaneki's here. Experts willing to maybe take this fight. Only 3 of them alive. We watched Danzot fall earlier on. They are going to be outnumbered in this, but they have the advantage of being here first and already set up to take the fight. But it's how Raze Clan want to fight this. Raze Clan, again, another team that's right down the bottom of the scoreboard right now. They have been struggling so far throughout their PMCO. And they net themselves some vital kill points here. Especially as you've got the numbers advantage. Got a bit of a clear area around you for now as well. You can focus in on this. This is decision making is what's going to be key and what we look at. Trying to use the cars some cover in there as well. Bavaria, he's just pinned, waiting. Thrown down. Hoping someone's going to push out forward. Nades going on up. Not connecting with anyone just yet. More just moving positions out for him. Throwing it into the buildings. Hoping it might get deep enough. But Kaneki, he doesn't even budge. He's not worried about that. He was like, nice try. Nice nade. Not getting anywhere near me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty interesting play coming in from both the players here of Exusia as well as the Race Clan. And as you've pointed out, Race Clan, they are in need of those points. So a good effort coming in here from them. Unfortunately, they can't find those angles just yet. But I mean, looking at where they are positioned, it would probably be a good call to disengage from there, rotate back up into zone because they've got a pretty clear rotational path back up into zone. Meanwhile, Exusia just going to try and pick fights with anyone they see moving with Azuri off in the distance. Yeah, that is, of course, going to be a pretty tight fight. And again, this is where the teams would need to try and position themselves back up into zone. Blue zone forcing their hand. They have to rotate up. But right up ahead of them, we do have the players there from ATL Magicians just lying in wait. But they've also had quite a few of their players already getting knocked right on down. And I mean, it's going to be a pretty brutal push back into zone.
It really is. And again, I mentioned the South and the Eastern teams. Now everyone is scurrying from the East. And they're just like going to be driving past each other. And it depends who wants to maybe stand for a little bit longer and take some shots. But no matter what option you make, there is going to be a fight on your hands. And we're already seeing some teams lose players to the play zone here. Others just trying to hold the line and hold on to their ground, the little bit of ground that they have. Unique trying to rotate around the action as we see here. You never know what lies in front of you. And this is the problem. Trying to scout forward during this as well. That's stressful enough as it is. We're at phase 4 now. The Blues no joke. And oh no! Fainted. We were talking about how well their first 2 games have gone of first and second place. Well, they're going to fall very early on here when it comes to Miramar.
Yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate things we have happening in the Battle Royales. And I mean, we see quite a few teams still trying to push in from this western front. I'm liking the position of Gun up on the hill, just a little bit further in towards zone. A really good anchor point to set up. But meanwhile, Raze is still going to try and find their way back into that zone. Immortals just having a nice little bit of a gatekeep happening here. We can see Sahil and the rest of the team, they just lining themselves up, beautifully setting up the defensive line. But out comes a little bit of a crazy play coming in now from Razors. They look to get a little bit aggressive, looking to find their opening, even being willing to blow their way up into zone if need be. But Steal and Go now already just lying it down with the defensive plays. We do have one player already knocked from the side of the Immortals, but here we go. Raze Clan getting ready to rush the shots, finding the way in. Oh, this is going to be pretty tough. Will they be able to clutch it? Beautiful shots, but Immortals looking to hold on. Plays here for Race Clan, just trying to push. Oh, it is up to Sahil now, and Wally to bring it in for the Immortals. The plays here from Race Clan up to Aqua. Will he get it? Finds a beautiful angle. Fortunately, the Immortals are hiding behind the walls, but they're using this opportunity to get their numbers back up. I'm not quite sure if Aqua will be able to get all the way in, trying his utmost to just stay ahead of that blue zone, quickly wrapping around, trying to see if the sneak approach will pay off, but it is now do or die time. The blue zone is closing in. They're running out of options. They're running out of players, and Aqua might be on his last score right here, but a beautiful position in the window.
Very smart there from Aqua. Now can he capitalize on it? Now can he finish? Nade goes up. Aqua needs to be careful. They've done so well up until this point, but the rest of his team have been eliminated. The revives coming through may have saved the day there for the Immortals. The numbers are going back up, and Aqua is all alone. He's retreated to the top of the building and said, okay, my team have fallen. I had a chance, a very small chance at that. And now the pressure can be put directly at him. They run on up. They put him down. The ATL Magicians have fallen at the same time as well. More teams go on out. Raze Clan, they tried. But overall, they didn't even get one kill from that. It was such a good fight to start off with. They're very back and forth, put into the 1v1. But I think that revive just pinched it for him.
Yeah, that was a really tough spot fighting in. But now speaking about spot, Blackjack having themselves set up beautifully in the hard cover, utilizing this compound, looking to apply the pressure to the place here from Era Crew. I mean, it's a tough play there. Immortals just also trying to find their own way back into zone, but Gun, they just capitalizing on that high ground. Meanwhile, Blackjack trying to find the spray, trying to show a little bit of dominance back up into the zone here. And I mean, Era Crew, they just hugging that compound, trying to find their way up through, but a beautiful spray coming in from Zane, doing quite a bit of damage, but this could actually be that opportunity for Gun to third party it.
Yeah, the Gun have not really had to move too much at all. They've been able to keep an eye on everything else that's been going on around them. If they want to, they can jump up into it. And with such high ground, they're watching everyone down below and just waiting for who they might be able to squash. Teams in a very close quarters area. If you step out in the open for too long, you're going to be seen and shot at. No problem at all. Blackjack Esport did not have a good game previously on Sanhok. Looking to turn it around this time. They're right up there towards the top of the leaderboard. In a good position. So they want to try and get as many as possible these last two games. Just pure patience right now. Everyone just waiting. Who's going to move first? Keep your eyes open. Keep super focused. And Gun. Well, they've been big chilling. The problem here for Gun, though, is like there is going to be a point they need to get active to get some additional kills in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're definitely going to have to start finding those kills. And already Pounce getting knocked out there at the hand of the Liquid Diamonds. And I got to say, though, this has been a healthy play coming in from the Drogon, still bringing in all their players into these late few phases. But now the challenge comes to find their way back in. And Blackjack just patiently waiting to see who's going to be budging, who's going to be moving, as MG is keeping a very, very watchful eye there. But I like this position also from the Immortals, just behind them, so close to the edge of zone. And oh, MG almost finding that angle, but a beautiful quick shot finds his way in. Ghost goes down, up comes JR, now looking to get aggressive. Will he be able to find that? It is such... What? Where was his gun, though?
Yeah, I don't know. He, like, when you're this close, you should be always having your gun out, even if you're making the quick run for it, because you don't know what lies in front of you. And for him, it was a Blackjack Esports player ready to put an end to him. Immortals have grabbed themselves a nice spot, though, still up with 4 players. Been fighting strong, 5 kills. And this is just carnage once again. Close quarters, lots of teams trying to feel each other out, trying to find a way to push in. The Razor Crew are doing their best here, but this is the problem for them. If they were late to the party, they don't have so much of an opening. Blackjack Esports looking to do big damage. He has to duck down because many more shots are coming out towards him. And this is where Gun, if they want to, can start to get active and put the hurt on so many players. That's what we start to see. They get the knock onto Zinc. They're going to be looking for more kills in there as well. And this is where they might be trying to clean up the lobby. They still sit in such a strong position.
Yeah, they definitely have the upper hand, just utilizing that high ground. We can see them lining up on the edge, but Era Crew now trying to find their way up against the Immortals. Impulse cooking up the grenades, sending it in. We do have MFP and Go right inside that building. So it's going to be a pretty tough play here for Era to try and secure this compound. They're still looking to find their way back into zone. They are so close to the edge. But the Immortals are going to make it so difficult. And already Gun now starting to utilize that position, putting their angles and their plays to good use. So you can see just a few shots finding their way in. And oh, Excusia also just feeling the herd up on the hill, but also finding a nice one into Nerf though. 9 teams remain, 22 players left. This is going to be an absolutely crazy zone. And I'm curious to see where this next shift is going to be going. Will it stay in favor? Meanwhile, all the players here from Era having a few knocks come in. The Immortals now looking to apply the pressure. This is the moment of truth as Sahil comes in. Beautiful jump shot. Impulse just up ahead. Will he be able to clutch it? Oh, 2-man rush is not enough though.
Oh, no.
Sahil.
Oh, they dealt with a Razor Crew, but then the shots come from up above. Gun raining down terror on so many of these teams. First aid kit's going to be applied. The revives are coming on through as well. They're right on the edge of it. And Gun are going to have to work their way down. Oh, geez, Rick. He's really stuck down there. That's not the way you want to go. He tried to get up. He looked like he was going to potentially have a fight that he could pick with one of the Gun players, maybe surprise him. Then he started to see it move, and he's sat in a position all alone. The rest of his team are dead. He's just hoping no one spots him out from here, as Gun will at least provide cover fire for him. They maybe not even notice that they're doing it. They want to stay here as long as possible. They're up at 10 kills, but they only have... Oh, big shots coming through. But Nerf me, he really wanted that one. Only 2 alive. Ricky's down and out of it. CE Sports are going to be eliminated in 7th place. There is many teams in here, but Affiliate and Apex, right? They've been the slow burners. You mentioned them earlier here, DK. They've got 7 kills now, but they're still pretty comfy. They're very well held towards this northern part of the circle. No way down. No hope at all. An absolute slaughter. Gun. Good amount of kills. Not a bad game at all. It looks like AE are the ones that may be trying to overtake him in this one. But if they can hang on, that's going to be the other question. Because Liquid Diamonds have been lighting people up. And it's just the moment you move, the moment you make any noise, you get absolutely run all over. But AE may be left alone for enough time that these revives can come through. Because there's still some distance between them and the other teams.
I mean, this is going to be a really punishing play as Flash. Flash tries to just rush up into the zone, but MFP just on point with those sprays. Darkness just holding up ahead. MG also slowly inching his way forward. 4 teams remain. Plays there from Ophelia and Apex still just holding on for dear life. Down in and to the south, so it still could be anyone's game at this point. But Ophelia and Apex looking pretty strong, coming in with 4 players into this final zone. Well, this is some pretty impressive numbers to have, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of work now for the Immortals, Blackjack, as well as the players there from the Liquid Diamonds to try and secure this winner chicken dinner. Up comes the spray. Sicko gets knocked right on down. MFP now just scanning the area, trying to see if he can find a place. Stoney also just limbering up, getting ready for this final rush. Blessin'.
Oh, no.
Right then and there. Oh, man.
What do you even do? You got to take tick damage. You're probably gonna get shot at as you come out into the open as well. Oh, it's less than ideal for sure. The Immortals are the gatekeepers of just 2 players here, because they've got such a good vision over the rest of the people that are trying to get across. Kage trying to work his way forward slowly. Stoney throwing out some utility as well. And it's all about who will make the first mistake in here. Stoney, though, he'll be ready to do some big damage. Affiliate and Apex just down to 3 players now. Slowly but surely the numbers start to dwindle. Leston has managed to get out of there, though. And he survives the tick damage. No one spotted him out. He's got the ridgeline at least giving him some cover. MG, you are the sneakiest man going. Because they're aware that Darkness is there. He made some noise. He tried to take a few shots. But MG's just been big chilling. He's trying to grab as many extra placement points as possible. He knows the kills may not be that quite there for him. But he could do some huge work if he can secure him like a 3rd or 2nd place if he's left alone. First few shots going to be exchanged. It's just a straight out trade. Instantly, he's going to be finished off. Kage put in the hurt. and Liquid Diamonds will find themselves out of it now. They can't hang on any longer. Darkness is taken out of it. Immortals have gone as well. And now we're in a technical 2v1. I don't think the revive will come on through. An MG, almost full health, pretty stacked up. He can hear the footsteps. He's being cautious. He knows he could be swarmed at any point. Oh, they're going to get the revive off. Poke comes out. Oh, no! He went in to try and grab the kill point, but Affiliate Apex, they were ready for him to jump across. They put the hurt on him, and they end in a very positive fashion for these guys. Plenty of points up there. And they were in a similar position to Gun, right? Gun had the hilltop. Affiliate Apex came in from the western side. Affiliate Apex didn't have to obviously drop on down, and they were definitely fighting, but it was like you weren't really seeing them pop up in the kill feed as much, you know? It was like here and there picking up pieces, and then they managed to hold on and keep their numbers in a great situation to take the win. Good stuff from these guys.
But it's great to see that kind of snowball effect building up. You know, the teams start off a little bit more calculated, making their way in, and as they get closer and closer to those later phases, they really start getting so tactical with their plays. And I mean, Affiliate Apex just capitalizing on their position, on that element of surprise, and bringing home a beautiful winner chicken dinner. Absolutely phenomenal play from them. And I mean, it's about time to see that bounce back come from Affiliate Apex.
Well, let's take a look at how all the points were distributed. So Affiliate Apex, they got 26 in that one. Immortals, 22, getting a few more, or just one more kill point, should I say. Gamers Unite Nation, 11 kill points, but the placement points weren't quite there. They'll be at 15. Blackjack Esports, good recovery, considering they went out very early on the previous game, so they'll be happy with that. Liquid Diamonds as well, showing up, getting the decent amount of placement points because Darkness was able to hold on as long as possible. Then, though, look at the huge difference. It's so top-heavy this time for the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. C Esports taking that 7th spot, only managing 3 total points. If it wasn't for that kill point that they were able to acquire, I mean, it would have been a pretty big rip right there. And as we move into that second page, it's the similar kind of thing. You can see Experts also on 1 kill, 1 point. ATL Magicians coming in with 2 kills. Again, if it wasn't for the kills, that would have been a 0-pointer for them. Or as Max would say, a big bubble.
And poor KHK, right? Obviously, they got absolutely wrecked. You know, they had a fight in the early couple of minutes, dropped on top of them, weren't able to hold on, but they were, I think, before we went into this game, at the top of the overall standing. So they're still in a good spot, nothing for them to worry about, but just not the way they would have gone for a team that's been so consistent here, DK, throughout all of it. But I'm done. My games are done for today. So you're going to have Max and DK. Moist Max will be replacing me. So make sure you're there to spam in chat, Moist Max as much as possible, and give him all the support and love he needs, because we'll be back in about 7 minutes.
5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
And that's now 3 games in a bag. One more game remaining before we do close off this 4th day of action here for the African PMCO for the full split 2021. And what a great game it was indeed over there on Miramar, DK. It was great to see Phil and Apex actually secure himself their very first win this time around. And they actually found great closure. We had Gun that had a very weird finish with that try and jump over. It was a weird finish, but at the end, one team came out on top. It was a Phil and Apex, and they needed it right to make sure they could remain in that top 16.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say that high ground position, it is quite a favorable spot to be in, but looking at how that zone shifted, it made it so difficult. So I think Gun there kind of made the only play they thought they could to try and get off of that. And unfortunately for them, the teams just positioned down below, they were just so focused on that heel point, waiting for them to come down. And eventually the vehicle just went pop. But yeah, beautiful play coming in there from Aphelion Apex. Good bounce back that they've made in that past match. But now, as we're getting ready to move into the next one, I'm curious to see who's going to be the team to step up, because we've seen the players from KHK step up. We've seen C Esports. We've seen the Liquid Diamonds come in. We've seen Fainted step up, as well as Aphelion Apex now. And so who's going to be the next team? Will it be one of the previous teams we saw, or is it going to be someone new?
I would like to see Immortals actually get himself a win here, potentially. They're still standing very low in the standings. I think we'll have a point where we're going to be seeing the overall rankings hopefully soon, because I think it's very interesting for us to look into. Oh, we're going to look at the overalls. There you go. Perfect. Our great producer on the side says they are ready, so we're going to be looking at the overalls right now. Oh, they went first. Damn it. Oh, my timing was a little bit off, but that's fine. We'll get used to it. But we get to see that KHK Esport were 30 cents. Sorry. You're fine. You're fine. It's just me. I have to get good. Okay. It's fine. I'll get the timing right next time around. But first place is going to be now KHK with 105 points, just overtaking G5 Temper with 1 chicken dinner less, showing that KHK maybe has a little bit more consistency coming their way here. DK just laughing at me.
G5, you said, hey?
Did I say G5? Did I say G5?
Yeah, I'm just trying to clear it up before it starts spamming.
Because they're gonna, we all know they're gonna get 5 wins in a day. That's why I'm just calling it. They're gonna get 5 games coming their way out of 4. That's why I'm just preparing the new brand. They got the rename. I got the paperwork done. But no, G3 Temper got himself 103, and but Blackjack, kind of the unsung heroes, I would say, of today. Gave himself some top points quite a big portion of the time, and especially a lot of kills. I think Blackjack are definitely making it work in their favor, where they are a big contender when it comes to the potential finals.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw some great plays coming in from MG just in that last match, being able to stay hidden for quite some time, just sneaking in. And it's a good play so far coming in from Blackjack, as they started the day off in 9th, and now they've moved up all the way into that 3rd spot. So yeah, definitely looking to see what the teams are going to be bringing. And the second page also still looking pretty neck in neck, as Banks, James has pointed out not too long ago in the previous match. He said, there's not a lot separating the teams coming in from, let's say, for instance, that 24th position, just moving up a little bit closer onto that 12th, 13th slot. So it's still very neck in neck, and one decent game, one good game could really see the teams moving themselves back up in that top 16.
Yeah, because when you're looking at the overall rankings right now, 16th place is held by Dragons, and when you look at the overall points they have right now, they have 49. Literally, even if you are in last place and you have an amazing, and I truly mean here, DK, an amazing last day here in the group stage, you could make a comeback happen. A miracle could be just around the corner for any of these teams. Of course, it's going to require a lot of time and effort. And if you do something such as Fainted AF, which I think is a really good example from what we've seen today, and you can work and improve, you are getting closer and closer to the top 16. Look at Fainted. I'm just talking about them currently standing with 44 points total, 27 positioning points, 17 kills, maybe lacking a little bit on that end. If they can increase those a little bit, it will be a very easy entry ticket into the top 16 to make into the finals. But it's not going to do on its own, DK. If you are currently struggling, if you are in the bottom 16, you need to look back on your first day, look back on your second day, see what was ticking wrong, fix it. It's not easy to do. I know I'm asking for something that's very, very hard to execute, but unfortunately, who said being the top 6 best team in your region is easy? Unfortunately, DK, nobody said that. So you need to put the time, work, and effort into it to make sure you can make it to the finals.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely something that's doable. If we look at Affiliate Apex with the performance they had in this last match, before the match, they were sitting all the way down into 29th place.
Oh, wow.
And now after one decent game, they've actually been able to move all the way up into 18th. And that was just in one game. So anything can still happen in this final match. And, you know, once this match is done and dusted, these groups, they've only got 4 games left to play.
Yeah, it's so down to the wire right now because you got to keep in mind also of the bigger picture. And the bigger picture right now is after this final game, every single team of every single group have all played 2/3 of their matches. They all played 8 matches and you have 4 games remaining. 4 games. It's really not a big number, right? 4 games is so hard for you to really try and get a big impact if you are not a consistent team, right? And it could be one game. You just talked about it for Affiliate Apex, right? They were 29th, currently standing in a very comfortable 18th position right now. That was one game. One day is definitely possible, but it goes to show you need to perform every single one of those games, which is not an easy thing to achieve. So we're going to be hoping to see those kind of improvements happening for a few of the teams. But I touched upon this a little bit with you yesterday, DK. And I'll ask you this question for Group A, Group C, about teams that you think have improved heavily. We touched a little bit upon Fainted. Are there other teams that you're like, you know what? From their first day into their second day, there was a very clear margin of improvement that they can be very proud of?
Yeah, there definitely has been quite a bit of improvement coming in. You know, I'm hoping that it's not only just the nerves that is, you know, kind of just calmed down a little bit, but I'm also hoping that it is the VOD reviews that are really starting to come through, you know. So we'll give everyone the benefit of the doubt and say, yes, you know, the VOD reviews that they've been doing, looking to find the best ways, the best strats to try and bring into these games, really now starting to pay off for them. And I mean, moving into this final match of the day, this is definitely going to be that opportunity for any of these teams in Group B and D to step up, bring in that extra additional bit of performance to try and secure themselves a decent spot.
Yeah. Talking about teams that we're hoping to see potentially make it back in, I got one on the tip of my tongue that I'm just so ready to talk about is Exusia. I don't know if you were maybe looking at their position too heavily, but I was looking around on the minimap how they would rotate. Their macro rotations are actually relatively strong, and from time to time they would get such a good position and control the entire position around it, but they would just not be able to convert into kills. And I think that's something we've seen quite a few teams and players lack, is being given or taking a good position themselves, but not using it. And I think that if you have a strong spot and you're not using it, you're literally not making use of it. That's because you're not using it. But you need to make sure that if you have a position, you want to defend it and you want to zone teams away and turn those potential knocks into kills. And I think we saw some teams not do that. I think CE Sport with an example of a team that was trying to do so, even though it was a little bit all over the place. At least they got the idea to make it work, and it actually did work out for them at the very end. But we need teams that, if you rotate well, your macro game is on point, you need to transition into good micro. And if you can do that, that's what the best teams in the world currently do, is have strong macro, transition into strong micro, and then you're pretty much set to go.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a point for a few of the teams to focus on. You know, we see a really healthy amount of macro play coming through, but when it comes into that micro, being able to convert over, you know, get into the aggression, just defend the position, you know, take those shots, that is sometimes where it needs a little bit of work. But we've already seen it starting to improve as the teams are getting more and more exposure to that and becoming more aware of that. So, yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how that is going to evolve as the teams continue to play through not only this match, but the remaining 4 games that are still up ahead of them.
Yeah, 4 more games remaining for all of these teams right after this one. But don't forget that all these teams, of course, and ourselves, DK, because we don't want to be forgotten too heavily, but we're all born to win in the grand scheme of things. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gaming mode on with a much-loved Renault 5 Series. And, of course, we're also going to have a very much-loved series on our hands here, and it's going to be our final game of the day over here on Erangel. I'm seeing the playing path might not be the friendliest for teams that like to drop towards the south or over to the more western coastline, but it still shouldn't be too shabby. We've seen way worse, and we've seen it way better from time to time. Yeah, we'll see who's going to be able to find closure, because I think that one thing that's very important, DK, and it's your final game, and after this, you got 2/3 of your games done. You want to finish with a bang if possible. Like, just for your mental strength, you want to have a strong performance. I'm not talking a win, but a top 5 will definitely make you feel, okay, it was not that bad.
Yeah, this is definitely where that the mental acuity is being put to the test. Whether or not the teams can still come into this final match, but still be super relaxed. Because, I mean, there's nothing worse coming into like a final match for the day or for the phase or whatever, moving in and, you know, falling a little bit short or having small little stupid mistakes happen that cost you that position. So if they've ever played a relaxed match, this should be the one where they should try to be as cool, as calm, as collected as they can be.
Of course, like, just calm and collected, I think, is the thing that you hit the nail on the head there. We see so many teams just crumble under the pressure, and that just hurts them so much. Calm and collected is what you want to see. And we're going to be also looking at our fate. Wait, did they get lost at school here? No, this is not the right class. You got in the wrong room. Class 1B, not Class 1C. You guys got it wrong, but you're going to have a few mix over there, a crew, and also Drogons. There's a 2v2, actually. And you got a few other players, actually, in school. In apartment, should I say. And those are 2 players of Erangel, I'm pretty much sure. If they can loot up quickly, pick up a car, and join, this is a 2v4 they could be picking up. Erangel have an opportunity to win this very, very easily.
Yeah, but I'm still looking to see that play come in from Dan. I mean, I've been watching Dan for quite some while play. Watching Dan play for quite a while. Wow, I can't English today. But here he comes. I mean, I call Dan the one-man clan. You know, he has shown that play before, and I'm hoping to see that, you know, Dan just showcase that performance. But I mean, we see also Ghost and Shaky Boy. They have mobilized themselves. So I'm curious to see whether or not they're going to try and join up here, bring in those reinforcements, because Erangel, they're also still looking pretty strong, having a nice 2-2 split, exploding those fuel cans.
Oh, there you go.
Man.
I'm surprised Drogons actually get the 2 other players there first. And the other 2 players of Erangel are actually crossing over by foot. There's only 1 player. There's 1 player currently missing. So that means we're going to be basically taking a 4v3. And Drogons do have the man advantage. No heals, though, for JR. Junior's got nothing to play from. And now 1 or 2 bullets, and he's pretty much dead, DK. So if he can find some meds, that will be salvation for him. But they were showing the loot. Unfortunately, you're not going to have those meds. Maffy does get knocked down instantly, thanks to the little sneaky off angle set up by Ghost. And now it's going to be the full Senate. Now is the Ghost signal for these 2 teams. Drogons struggle a little bit. No more ammo. Got to reload up for Ghost. Confirm that kill. There you go. Get the points while you still can. And the Mini 14 showing that they do not have the prime loot they were hoping for. Now Ghost outside. Got himself only a handgun. And that's it. Despite the fight that was looking initially at the advantage of Drogons, that is going to be 4 kills going over to Erangel. But Maffy will unfortunately go down and get picked up and go straight back to the lobby.
I mean, that was a valiant effort coming in from the Drogons. Unfortunately, the Pubg gods weren't smiling on them here. But now as we move on, 2 teams the gods have been smiling on a little bit here today, being the side of Fainted and C Esports. And I mean, Ricky, a little bit isolated from the rest of the team. Definitely would have liked to see a little bit of a more reinforced play coming in. But the team is not too far away. So I think this could be a healthy exchange coming in between Fainted and C Esports, depending, of course, on where Fainted rotate from here.
I swear, man, I was listening to you 2 casting the last game on Miramar. And I was just chilling. I was eating myself some biscuits, as you do when you're casting. That's how you do it. And I swear, James at one point said, "Oh, geez, Rick." And I just thought Rick and Morty right away. And I was like, if he only did the voice. oh, geez, Rick. I would have loved it. That would have been awesome. But I don't know. And I don't even watch Rick and Morty. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm like that. I'm kind of quirky or like that. You know, I don't watch what's mainstream. Like Pokemon. What's that? No. Actually, I'm of course joking. I hate people like that.
But so you're talking about mainstream, right? Do you eat mainstream biscuits then?
They're actually granola bars, so I guess I am kind
Ooh.
of mainstream on that. They're so good. Come on.
Okay, I'll give you 5 points for that one.
Thank you. Wait, out of how much?
Yeah. Out of 6.
Damn it. Okay, fair enough.
So 5 out of 6. It's not a bad point to be. I mean, I was thinking maybe 10, but then I'm like, no, let's be generous today. Do it a 5 out of 6. Can't make it a 5 out of 5 just yet. Can't be 100%.
You got to keep room to grow. I appreciate it. You know what? You're trying to push me forward. You're so supportive. You're like a dad. I mean, you're the potential age of my dad, so that's something.
Could be. You never know.
That was a roast, man. You're not supposed to be like, oh, it could be. You're supposed to be like, oh, wow, you call me old. No, you can't be nice and wholesome, DK. We're casters, okay? We're supposed to be mean to each other. I want James to come back and just trash talk me, okay? I feel needed like that, like a punching bag. At least I'm needed, you know. That's kind of sad, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, like what I've learned is the easiest way if like someone is saying something, the best counter to that is to agree with them, you know. So you called me old, I'm like, well, yeah, I am, you know. So, touche.
And then I'm so confused. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I meant you were not. No. I should do the same. When someone calls me like a noob on PUBG Mobile, I'll be like, yeah. You'll be like, hey, what? Impossible. How?
It's like, oh, they read my profile.
This is not the game away. How did you get away with this? I just had the best trash talk ever set up. You just made it work out. Damn. Oh well. Phase 1 circle did pop up over to the western side. Team's gonna have to start to rotate slowly but surely. And not guns. Like people were saying in chat, I said guns. No, I didn't. Do you have proof? Do you have the VOD? Oh, actually, they do have the VOD.
Yeah.
Don't check the VOD. Don't do it, please. Don't. I swear I said gun. Just trust me on this one. But they're going to go for their own rotation and find himself what I hope to be a good spot. It is Gatka Fields. There's a lot of compounds, so I'm not really expecting any teams to really get on top of each another, except for Dragons. That was a very unfortunate hot drop that I'm actually surprised happened because we had a first game on Erangel right on game 1, and it happened on game 4, and I thought we would have avoided that, but it actually happened, so that was surprising.
Yeah. But I mean, looking at these rotations and just how open that zone is, I'm kind of expecting Gun to rotate into Quarry, Fairy Pier, because we normally see them like to drop there if the zone allows it. We've seen them frequent that Quarry region time and time again, so I wouldn't be surprised if they moved up into a very similar position, as it is one very, very open, and they could be quite comfortable sitting in that position, but also, I mean, they could be securing themselves for quite a few phases there, depending, of course, on where that zone is going to be going. And just looking at the north, it is starting to become a little bit congested as we've got the teams now starting to trickle in back into zone.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow process. Teams just trying to create a little bit more space. Surprised no one is going for Everest, actually. It's not quite center, but it's right up north of the central point of the circle. So I think Everest, as a temporary scouting position, could be very viable. But I think that right now, as we're about to go into phase 2, teams are maybe waiting. If it does shift towards Everest, they might see that as a better opportunity to go for Everest and start creating the information game and start having that intel coming their way. I think that could be a viable option. Other than that, we're going to see the only team here, EXS, going to be moving away from something off the island. Actually, there we go. A team isn't he going to be going up there. It's going to be Team Unique. Look at Diamonds down below. Not really worth staying out. You're not going to get that kill, not in a million years, so not really needing to put your focus on that. But it's good. I think that that's just a good showcase of Unique trying to actually get information, so thumbs up. Love to see it.
Yeah, a lot of thumbs up. We've got 4 of them, and now...
Wait, a lot of them?
Yeah.
How many
lot.
thumbs?
I mean,
how many thumbs do you have?
4 is more than 2, so that's a lot. I mean, it could have been a couple.
That's true.
2, so,
but like
yeah,
for you, 2 thumbs up is like a lot. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's say for today it is.
I thought you were like an alien with like 6 arms or something, and you just were very good at hiding
We
it.
spoke about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why you're so good at PUBG, man. You got you got wait, 6 times 5 is you got 30 fingers?
I don't know.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's why I never do hand cams. But talking about hand cams, though, we do see the teams really starting to converge in towards Everest. So Unique finding themselves actually in a very beautiful position right on top of the hill there.
Oh, wow. if James was here. Oh, look at that car. It's such a... I'm James Banks. I like making fun of you. Yes, okay, I get it. But yeah, they're going to be making their way in. The fact is also, and you talked about it earlier, right, DK, where the North was very congested. So this circle's actually to the advantage of a lot of these teams. So they're not going to be too stressed out, except for KHK. As Pennywise is picked up. Not flushed, so there's still a living chance of him coming back into this one. But Immortals seem like they're coming in with a plan. And it does seem like they want to capitalize on that kill. But unfortunately, might want to give it up. And to be honest, you're so spread, I would not recommend going for that push. Just stay around. If you get a kill from a distance, that's great. It is not worth pushing. You're taking too big of a risk. And losing a player right now will heavily hurt your chances of winning the fight late game.
Yeah, and the Immortals are also quite spread out, but MFP managing to at least find 1 point there. So it is a good start, but it is going to be a little bit of a risky rotation, seeing that we do have the players here from Era Crew just holding on to the water town there. But now, as the Immortals get ready to push further in towards Headshot Hills, this is still a very tricky spot to be playing, and they are slightly separated. As you can see, Wally now just getting lasered there by Impulse, and fortunately for the Immortals, they managed to duck in behind the hills once again. And the Race Clan actually challenging Unique up on Everest.
You know they're going to try and force that fight. Yeah, I would... Oh, actually, well, now I'm looking at it. Team Unique seem pretty underlooted. One of the players only got 3 Band-Aids. Sorry, actually, he just got himself 3 Band-Aids. Potentially only has 1 or 2 remaining currently. So if he takes a fight and the fight goes on for long, which is typically the case when you have these tippity top of the mountain fights in Everest, Sorry is going to be one of the first players to unfortunately just die out because he has nothing to heal up from. So you'll probably have to need some meds chucked his way by some of the players. By the way, that is a mechanic I've yet to see, DK. You know, now you can actually throw ammo and
yeah,
no,
I've seen
meds.
it a lot. I mean,
I haven't casted it. I haven't casted it.
I
That's the
have.
thing.
I actually had the one game where Gun was throwing meds at the final team opposing them. They were
I
throwing
want that.
bandages across.
Wait, what? How did...
Yeah, at the opposite team. That was a really...
I was more impressed by
call it a
Sicko's
chivalrous
shot.
play.
I was just impressed by Sicko's shot. He just got an instant headshot. Oh my god! Sicko and Stony, what are you guys doing? That's so clean. Are they going to find the kills though? Are they going to flush it? They might just push onto ATL Magicians. I would be like, okay, man, it's more central in the circle. Go for it.
Well, Blessin is definitely going to try and close this one up as he comes moving in, trying to bring it into the magic.
Oh!
But he gets caught by Legacy. Absolutely insane play. But up comes the rest of the team now from Apex. Looking to push and apply a bit of pressure onto Legacy. Wow.
Okay, well, that's a car cemetery right there. Gonna try and push it. Nice nades through the windows. Try and make sure they cannot hold on to those angles. Legacy's got a really good idea, but you're showing your feet in that position, man. It's not the best position to fight from. Gonna try and smoke it up. The smoke a little bit late does alert and give the information over to Ophelia on Apex. Once again, this team coming off the back of a win early on Miramar. So they're feeling heated. They're feeling real good. The pre-fire comes on through from Legacy. No, the door was closed. He had to run to the rooftop. Trying to escape, but it's just nothing he can do. Ophelia on Apex picked themselves up their first 4 kills on this game, and you know here, DK, they're going to be looking for double-digit kill count at the end.
Man, that was an absolutely beautiful push coming in there from
So
Apex.
good.
A really strong roll coming in once again. I mean, and they took only a little bit of damage. Yes, to the players low in health, but still, all things considered, that was a really healthy exchange. And now, Fainted also looking to squeeze their way on in. Again, now this time, the north
circle
is completely open. I mean, this zone is going to be brutal.
Everyone's going to have to just cross over that river. This is now turned into a race. Whichever team makes it up there first, not only are they going to have prime time to pick a strong location to fight from, and a comfortable one like that, also, they're going to be able to gatekeep and pick up a few teams that are rotating late or into the mid-game. It could work strong, but the thing is, that is if the circle comes their way again. And that is a risk that you're taking. Are you willing to take a risk literally based on a 50-50 chance? We'll have to see. Some teams already making it happen. Fainted are doing just that. As now going to be moving straight back towards hospital. The fight's happening with Raze. 2 up as a 4-man crew. Nice pre-fire above Stony. And Ophelia on Apex are now struggling. They're on their potential last leg. Stony trying to run away. Shun is back. 1 bullet, and that's it for this player. But he's able to make it right behind that buggy. Will be able to pop the meds for a few more seconds, unless the nade connects onto him, which I think might just be the case. Sicko's got a great off angle here, DK. That could be huge, but Rays are not moving away. They are not scared. And Sicko, great high ground. The grenade bounces off of Sicko. It bounced off of Sicko. I have never seen that. He's playing a game of tennis. This guy's playing out of his mind. Jeez.
Maybe that was a bit of a hacky sack that we saw coming in there. I mean, that was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I don't know who Ophelia and Apex paid off, but the PUBG guns are really just smiling in their favor now.
ADK.
Up against KHK. Woohoo! Yes.
40-0. No, it's,
Wow.
it's tennis point system. Aw. You don't watch tennis? Roland Garros? I mean, I went for it a few times, so that's fine. I'll forgive you on that one. Azuri, great angle on the crane. This guy has literally no living chance of making it out unscathed, so that's going to be the end. As the XS all trying to remain inside the containers area. But man, this circle is brutal. The river, still a 50-50 split. Fainted might actually have struck gold this time with this shift. It was a risky one, but it might actually pay off in the grand scheme of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how that one pays off. But what I'm curious to see, though, is what Gun and the players there from Team Somalia are going to be doing atop of that Everest position. I mean, they need to try and get it all the way back into the zone. It's looking to be a pretty tough play. And Blackjack also now starting to inch their way closer to the edge of zone. Era right there alongside them. But there's a pretty nice ridge where we can see the players from Era already positioned on, and Blackjack now just diverting their path as they spot the engagements coming through from Era.
If they can go on that ridge you're thinking of right now and take the fight versus Era Crew and eliminate Era Crew and take that position, that would be a 10,000 IQ move from Blackjack. No questions asked. That would be the big brain play of the game. Because they'll get priority and they can gatekeep teams if the circle come up north, and they also clear space if they want to move down south in the case of an unfortunate circle shift. There's already one. Look at the kill feed. There's a player up there, recruiter just got picked up. This is the play of Blackjack. I would love to see their current POV because they are making the game deciding play right now, and we're just hitting phase 4.
Man, absolutely beautiful stuff. But what's also looking pretty beautiful is right over here in it towards the shipyard. This is going to be an absolutely brutal fight. And I'm quite excited to see, though, who's going to be the team to remain or rather retain control of this region. As we can see players here from KHK, they're looking to bring in a bit of that bounce back. The team there from CE Sports, pretty split up. Wizard now just trying to see if you can make this one work. Unique also just holding on to that northeastern side. And it's going to be an absolutely essential position as we do see the players here from Ophelia and Apex now starting to roll on in.
Okay, that's an insane roll-up right there, but seem like it's not going to be going their way. Ophelia and Apex are looking strong. It still exists, yeah. Have one player remaining. There's going to be Zelgod. What a nice spray, but unfortunately it's a bloom shot. Barely even makes it connect. You need to heal up now, my friend. You still got 3 first aid kits. You need to play around it. They're feeling an Apex might just get enough time to go for the res onto Stony. He's going to go for the push, trying to bait it out. I would hide back into the containers. That's exactly what he's going to do. But now they moved away. They know he might just try and go for the res. Zelgon needs to defend it left side. He's still got 33 bullets. Make them count, my friend. In the bloom, in the shot, in the open. But it was just not enough. It was not meant to be. 1v2 does not go his way as Ophelia and Apex are now up to 11 kills. And still counting.
Absolutely phenomenal play coming in here from Apex once again. And I mean, this could potentially be their game. A back-to-back chicken potentially finding its way in. Well, not back to... Yeah, it is going to be
Where were they? Where were they until now? This is... Their macro rotations are strong, but man, their micro, their team fights are so good.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Whatever they've been drinking just between game 2 and 3, you know, let me know. That has been absolutely amazing. But speaking about amazing, though, the team's really starting to take up some interesting positions. We've got a good balance over on towards the north of that river, and the south still looking heavily congested. But now the Immortal are looking to retain, or rather regain control of this northern section. Blackjack, they were able to eliminate the players there from CE Sports, as we pointed out. And now, are they going to move in or not?
Stop this. What are you doing? Okay, now James is not casting. He's like, button. And he did it. Once again, we got the bridge trolls, by the way, of TS. They're going to be chilling underneath that bridge. Maybe hoping for an opportunity to strike and get a few kills for players trying to cross without answering the riddle. Immortals also got himself a strong compound. Zane creating the first initial contact point. The rest of Blackjack might try and get someone involved. Zane is just running in the open. He's having a little bit of a marathon. has even fainted. They're going to be getting closer to make their way into the circle up in Northern George.
Oof.
That was a very clean shot, but not able to connect the knock.
That would have been amazing if it did. That would have been
Yeah.
one for the books right there.
On for the boys.
But now, I mean, still looking over in towards, the crates. It is still looking pretty contested. KHK, everyone holding on the north. Starting to separate itself a little bit. Blackjack still just playing this ridge line, but I'm liking this reposition down into the safety of the zone. A nice leapfrog play coming in, and now Reverb can just sit here very casually, tapping away, trying to pick up a few more steals. And I mean, with Topi down below, it is going to be almost in the back. And yes, there we go. Done and dusted.
Okay, that's going to kill confirm. Oh, you got to be careful, Reverb. That's a nice Kar 98 shot from Wally OP. Wisco, you're going to have to go for that res, homie. You don't have too much time. You got to get the res, get the first aid, and get in this fight, because Immortals are sharing right now. They're sharing. The neighbors, they're going to ask Sugar very soon almost to bake themselves a cake. I like this up. Wisco gave up. Can't go for the res, mate, anymore, and he's going to get picked up by Umar 19. And now they're down to 2 players. And I think that if they looked at the kill feed, they are alert. There's only 2 players alive of this team in their compound. If I were Immortals, I would fight. I would want 100% ownership of this compound. But as of right now, it seems like they're not fully ready and prepared to go for the full-on engage.
I mean, this is still going to be a very, very close fight. Immortals really stepping up, showing up with the aggression here, really making it so difficult for the players here from Blackjack to try and secure this position. But meanwhile, MG, he gets spotted out as the spray comes through there from the team of Unique all the way in the opposite end of the river. I mean, so nowhere you go at this point in the game is a safe spot to be hiding, and that zone is getting so close, it's about to pop. And meanwhile, the Immortals are looking to apply the pressure. Up comes the spray. Zane trying a little bit of free fire, finds one. You only get it though. Oh, come on.
Nah.
Oh.
You know what?
Wow.
It worked out for Immortals, but I still think that could have been done way earlier, and they gave too much time for the rest to come on through initially. Though, that's me just being, all grumpy and everything. As you guys would know, I'm French after all. That's how it goes. But regardless, they win themselves the fight. They clear out 100% of that territory. That's huge. But the territory is not in friendly land anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be outside of the circle. And you know what's also outside of the circle? Entirety of crates. And there are so many teams that set up shop here. They're all going to have to fight. This is going to be a true Battle Royale style fight, as only 1 or 2 teams maximum will make it out of this position.
Yeah, there's going to be crazy bottleneck coming into the edge of that zone. Then up comes the shot. Faish trying to push his way in. Sorry, trying to get that quick spray, but up comes the players from Gun, also looking to move in. They're still in the fight. 9 teams in total, 28 players alive, and quite a few of them positioned right here in it towards the crates. But of course, the players there from Team Somalia, an absolutely beautiful spot, just holding on to that bridge troll angle. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to figure out that riddle, but meanwhile, they are going to be focusing on the crates here, trying to get their butts in zone.
I think the riddle might be orange related. For those who know, you know. But Liquid Diamonds able to get himself for the reses. They were suffering big casualties just mere seconds ago. Now they're back as a 4-man crew. You're definitely going to need that man advantage to take that fight towards Team Unique. They've been looking really strong this game. So they're going to be needing to make a big feat forward. I'm going to slow down a little bit, and they're still holding on to a lot of smokes, but Aphelion Apex, man, KHK actually made the push work out. They actually made it over to the ridgeline of the river. That's insane to think about. As experts get picked away. Nice pre-fire from Sorry, right above that crate. Get that headshot confirmed. Can he make the double? Unfortunately, no. But Darkness will be still up and breathing, keeping the hope alive for Liquid Diamonds, as Nerf Me from Gun is just going to be sneaking and snaking his way forward. Maybe able to snatch a few kills along the way.
Oh, but Nerf Me just creeping up the back end there, just inching his way closer and closer to the zone. Complete element of surprise working in his favor.
Oh, no.
Plaza now bleeding out, and that's the end. What? Sorry, just absolutely on fire here. But now the Liquid Diamonds, they're also going to still try and push their way back up in it towards the zone. It's still going to be an absolutely hairy fight. But who's going to be the team to be able to claim this position in the south? Will it be the Liquid Diamonds? Will it be the players there from Aphelion Apex? Or will it be Unique?
Oh, and drink up. Trying to heal up as much as possible. He's got himself that shotgun. 5 bullets. Make them count. As Kage from Aphelion Apex trying to get forgotten about. The molly is huge to try and stop them from being able to cross over that section. The molly a little bit further forward will be huge. Kage gets the intel, strikes down. And that's it for one of the players of Team Unique. They only got 2 remaining, but now they got the information. And there is no escape for Kage as he gets chased down and picked up. That's kill number 11 for Unique. Another team was already double-digit kill count. This game is nuts, but that circle is now away from the river. The algorithm is now coming into play. And all the teams up north are going to have to cross over, but there's only one champion that can remain inside of crates. It's all Liquid Diamonds or Team Unique, and this fight cannot last any longer. You need to clear it out to defend away from the teams up north.
Man, this is going to be absolutely essential for the Liquid Diamonds. If they're looking to bring back an absolute smasher of a game, this would be the one to do it in. As you can see, the players there from Aphelion Apex meeting their end.
Why are these mollies?
Fainted, trying to cross the bridge. I don't know. They try to heat it up, but here we go now. The Immortals coming under fire as the Liquid Diamonds go at it once again.
Don't throw utility just to throw utility, because you're giving your position away. I mean, even though they know where you are, you should not do that. Try and put positions, angles, and make a push possible off the back of that. For example, if you can just use it on that crate that's literally on top, you never know. There's a player that could be there. I would check it out with a molly. And not doing so. That would be such an easy kill and an easy way to force out. Sorry. And now you show your back and boom, darkness is gone. Hamzy's going to be left alive. They know Sanhok. They know there's another player that's still alive, breathing somewhere. We need to shut him down. But Darkness still giving intel with that third-person perspective. As Sorry pushing his way forward. 5 bullets in that shotgun. Make them count once again. Trying to force the fight over. And he gets it. Jump shot on the shotgun. And Sorry, not sorry, picks it up. And that's kill number 13. 13, I don't know, but that's kill 13. Coming their way for sure. As the fight in the riverbank is still currently unfolding. And Fainted are still looking strong with 3 kills to their name.
I mean, that was an absolutely insane play, but now it is up to Kingerman to try and hold on to that defensive line as he puts the shot straight into Sahil. With that, the Immortals get eliminated. Team Somalia still in the fight. One of the final 3 remaining teams, 6 players alive. Somalia on 1, Unique on 2, and then Fainted sitting on a comfortable 3 players, but they still need to try and find a decent position. This is going to be such a tough play. Really exposed play coming in here.
This circle actually more in favor of Fainted AF than any other team remaining in this game. He's getting rid of his backpack. He's getting rid of some loot. You need to get rid of the backpack right now. You want to get rid of that 3D model elevation. Doesn't do it. And unfortunately, that might be the reason why he got spotted out by Sorry. Unique, that's kill number 14 now on the board. But they're rushing over. Big spray. Leonidas actually going to be the one to find that knock. Doesn't get the kill confirmed. But now from that tower, Sorry has such a good oversight of what's currently happening, and he has to take a 1v3. The smoke is going to be going away. Sorry, getting himself some nice damage onto Leonidas, but unfortunately, there's not much you can do in a 1v3 scenario, and Fainted get himself another win, despite their first day being so all over the place. This is the Redemption Arc 101 in PUBG Mobile Esport in the African region, and they make it happen twice in the day, DK. This team has truly redeemed themselves in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, that has been a bounce back of note. Absolutely phenomenal play coming in there from Fainted. And, you know, we were asking who's going to be the team to step up. Will we see a repeat of what we had in our previous games? And the answer is yes. Fainted stepped it up once again, showing us why they belong in PMCO, because they have the ability to bring in an absolute banger game.
It was truly a banger. I could not use another word. That was just the one, just hit the nail on the head right away. Fainted also, you got to keep in mind that this was a team that took that gamble that we were questioning at the start of that shift, where it was a 50-50 split with the river. We were like, you could go up north, it's risky, and we might not even know if it's going to be worth it in the long run. They went straight up there, went in Northern George Pole, got maybe a bit of lingering loot that was remaining in that position. And because of that, they were one of the only teams at the end that had utility, that had smokes. And that is how they were able to survive so long, thanks to those smokes. Without that, they would have died potentially in top 10, but they made it in the first place purely thanks to the smokes and the fact that they were trying something risky, and it paid off at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely, in my opinion, that was a play for the books. Absolutely fantastic stuff coming in there from them. But, I mean, you got to give it to the team there from Unique as well. Still just holding their own all the way through, just sticking it through, just bringing in those plays. And, man, they finished off on an absolutely insane 14-kill game.
It was really well played. To be honest, I think a lot of teams are getting confused on how to play Crates George Bowl like that, it is definitely not an easy position. It's like a labyrinth, and you're just trying to find your way out and in of fights. And it did work out for them really well at some point because they were the team furthest up north. So they were having most of the teams coming their way. It was the case for Phil and Apex. You also had other teams like Gunda were coming their way. Sorry, were able to pick up most of those kills. So yeah, their position actually was very, very interesting because I feel like they almost read the circle like, we know the circle is going to go up north. We're going to try and be proactive as much as possible. We're going to go furthest up north as possible as we could be allowed. And off the back of that, just let the kills feed our way, basically. And it worked out. If you're able to know somewhat how the circle is going to act and you can set up for that, you're just basically a meat grinder, just waiting for all the players to come your way and you just pick them up left, right, and center.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, this made for quite the entertaining match. I got to say, though, I mean, Fainted, they've just been showing themselves today. And that's essentially what we've been waiting to see, as teams come in off of their first days, you're regathering themselves, coming back stronger into the second day. And I definitely think that is exactly what Fainted had done. So I got to say, the third day is going to be super entertaining to watch, seeing what the groups are going to do as they all now move into their final few matches. But man, today, absolutely one for the books.
Yeah, if anything can be proven by that, G3 Temper and also this, I mean, you got these two teams, right? You're looking at them, Fainted and G3 Temper, and we're talking about it and how the comeback story is true. It's not a Cinderella story. It is true. It can become reality. These two teams were in the bottom 16, and even lower than that, they were struggling. And they were holding on to their dear lives just to hopefully make it barely in the top 16. Boom. One strong day, and they're back in the race. It's amazing to see. It's just absolutely beautiful. And it goes to show that even if you are in 32nd place is maybe a little bit short. Okay, only got 4 games. That's a miracle that's waiting to happen. But if you're on the bottom 16 and you're maybe a little bit doubtful, Fainted AF is a good example. And same for G3 Temper, that you can make it back in there. But once again, it's not going to do itself on its own. You need to put the time and effort into it. You need to try and do your VOD reviews. We talked about this many times. If you don't do the VOD review, you're not going to be able to improve. And if it hasn't worked, why would it work randomly out of a miracle? Unfortunately, it won't. So VOD review DK is what we need from the teams that are struggling. And even the winning teams is important for everyone in this lobby right now.
Yeah, because I mean, there's always that little factor that you could improve on, be it, just a little bit of a quicker rotation into a particular compound, or, just working more on the spread, the coverage of the particular region that you're in. There's so many things that still play into that. So yes, 100% agree. VOD review, absolutely essential for the teams. And if they haven't done that yet, now would be the time to do it, because moving up from here, there's only 4 games remaining. 1 day per group. That is it. I mean, it's do or die time from this point on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being a little bit harsh on these teams and saying what I'm expecting from them. But I did say, right, at the very start of this PMCO, that I would love to see African team make into PMGC. The odds of that happening right now are not looking the best, but I would love to see that happen in the foreseeable future, maybe 2022. This year, it could happen where we're going to need some very clear improvements on the one team that makes it to the EMEA Championship. So we'll see if our hopes can be now kept alive on that end. But yeah, it was great. We had ourselves 2 very, very strong wins coming on through, and I'm hoping to see a lot more of the teams at the bottom. Once again, we only have 4 more games remaining. Tomorrow, we're going to be mixing up the teams of Group A and Group D, and after that, it's going to be Group B and Group C. The very first time they're going to be learning from each other, and that's another reason why these VOD reviews are going to be so important, not only so you can improve yourself, but also you can prepare to the other 8 teams you're going to be facing up against tomorrow, and also on the 6th and final day of this group stage. But yeah, are there any teams now where you're looking at the overall rankings that hopefully we'll be looking at some point in time if they do get ready? Are there any teams at the bottom where you feel after these 4 days of play do not deserve to be down there and to have the potential that you want to see come back in their last 4 games?
Well, the only results I have to go on is what we had, after the
I have the same
match.
Yeah.
But looking at that, I mean, definitely Team Unique. I don't know where they are now, because we're just still waiting for the updated scores. But looking at where they worked before this match, sitting all the way down in that 25th position, definitely looking at the gameplay, yes, they do deserve to be higher up that list. So maybe after this play that they brought in just now, that could have been enough to already just elevate them to that point. But are we going to be looking for that consistency, though? I mean, they need to be able to build on that. And Fainted, also one of those teams that have just surprised us absolutely today. And also Aphelion Apex. I mean, some really deserving gameplay that we had. I mean, who knows? This could maybe just be the beginning of something amazing.
It truly could be. This could be the birth of a new top tier team here in the African region of PUBG Mobile Esports, and we're hoping to see a lot more of these guys. I asked you the question of the teams you would like to see improve. I have one in my mind. I talked about the very first day I was casting. I was not casting day one, so I had to jump on day two. And one team that shook me as being potentially very talented, and they are very talented, especially in the macro, for me is Team IQ. I don't know if you would agree with me on that one, DK, but when it comes to rotations and how they spread around the map, they do really well. But when it comes to fighting, they just struggle. And one team that was struggling on their fights too was Fainted. And I was very critical on Fainted because they were always fighting 4v4 and they would just send their players one by one and lose the man advantage for literally no reason. I think that Team IQ is suffering from something very similar. So if Fainted can serve as an example, I would love to see potentially Team IQ actually learn off the back of Fainted Esport onto that one and see if they can try and work on it. But other teams such as Raze Clan, it's very surprising, right? Because Raze Clan, we saw them a lot of these games, DK, strong positions, not capitalizing in terms of kills, which I find very surprising because before this game, they only had 6 kills, placement points, they only had 3, so that's a total of 9 points total. And yet, you look at their position sometimes, really strong ridge lines, and they just cannot seem to use them. We need to see the confidence being there. If you're not confident in an esport tournament, you're not going to make it far. We need to see them get those spots and be like, this is our spot. We're going to defend it like our life depends on it. And I think that could be set in Raze Clan, maybe a little bit further ahead of the rest.
Yeah, we'll definitely see whether or not that mentality change can come in. At least they have a day rest, so they're not going to be playing tomorrow. So they have that opportunity to try and just recollect themselves, come back stronger on the final day of the group stage here. But I mean, looking at the lineup that we've got for tomorrow, it's going to be a very interesting one. We've got the likes of 21st Century, Alt Magicians once again in there. We've got Era Crew, Experts, Fainted. We've got Honored Souls, Immortals, Influence Rage, KHK, Liquid Diamonds, Mizaxis, MZR, Rilla Insider, CE Sports, Ultima, and Zero Tolerance. It is going to be a pretty interesting day tomorrow. So I really can't wait to see what the teams will have in store for us.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to see what's going to be in and available. So before we're going to end the stream very soon, but I want to ask a quick question because I like asking your predictions, DK, before we wrap it up. For our 2 last days of play, which team are you expecting to be first? You got yourself KHK, G3, Blackjack, Team Lag. They're all looking amazing. Which would be the team where you would expect? I would love to have your prediction of your top 1 team at the end of tomorrow.
Can I only choose one?
One.
Wow. That is a really difficult play.
I'll give you mine first if you want.
Yeah,
I'll go first. Okay. I think Team Lag. If they can also close off for maybe a few more games, that'll be great. But I think that Team Lag is definitely the team that surprised me the most. I'm like, this is the team that I would like to see make it to the next stage because they're good on every front. They're good in team fights. They're good in rotations. They're good in controlling positions. Because of that, I think the Team Lag is the most complete team, I would say, coming into it. Of course, KHK and G3 Tempo did good. G3 Tempo is great at closing off games. KHK is really good when it comes to fighting, especially. But I think the Team Lag's good a little bit at everything. And I think that makes them a very strong contender for the EMEA Championship spot.
Ooh, okay. So I'm just going to go with the underdog team.
Ooh, okay. Right. I like that.
Or Dark Horse. Let's go for Dark Horse or Underdog or whichever, right? So I'm going to say Rilla Insider.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
For just because I can. Rilla Insider. Yeah.
Why? Because they
yes.
Very good argument you make right there.
Enough. Like why? Just because I said so. So we'll see.
I appreciate
maybe
it.
they prove me right. Maybe it's going to be interesting.
Hey, if Rilla Insider are going to be up there, man, I have to pay you a pint as we go out one day. That's definitely something that's going to be happening. With that said, that's going to be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching our 3rd day here. No, actually, it's a 4th day. Man, the time flies by so fast. This was our 4th day here for the African PMCO Full Split 2021. Hopefully, you had a good time with us on the show. My name is Maxman, joined by DK. James Banks was also on the show, making fun of me as he always does, and that is completely fine. I enjoy it. He's seemed pretty happy in the headset. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. So be there, be square for day 5 here of the African PMCO. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oppo Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.